So basically you roll this dice, right? And then the amount that you have, that's what you move on the game board. And you're like, that's easy, I can do that. I was like, okay, you landed on this space. Now you got to pick an action card. Oh, also don't forget to pick up the Schmegglebiggle card over here too, because this is your 7th turn. And on the 7th turn, you're going to turn over that card, and whatever it tells you to do, you're not going to do it.
At last we will have revenge.
You're going to show it to everybody else. Let everyone else look at it. And then you have to try to guess what it is, but not until your 12th turn. On your 12th turn, what you're going to do is you're going to want to take another one of those cards. This one you do look at. You look at that card first, and then you memorize it, and then you rip the card up into tiny little pieces and you eat it. You ingest it, you take a drink, wash it down. Then everyone else has to guess what that card was, but not until 2 more turns, right? Okay, and then once that happens, then everybody. Dun, 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 level 2 in cooking. Donna's learned the recipe for eggs and toast. Whoa, a fire! What? 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 Don discovered a fire. I'm on fire. What do I do? What do I do? Maybe your sim should put it out before it spreads out of control. I think you're too late, game. Destroy the console? Strike a pose. And with. My work laptop has a co-pilot button on the keyboard and I scream when I hit it. Our work is currently rolling that out for us to use, which I thought we weren't going to use external AI sources. I thought we were only going to use our own, but they're rolling that out too. So it is inevitable. It is inevitable, just like Thanos. And much like Thanos, it's gonna probably snap out half of existence. So cheers.
He's in the 6th position. Directly across from him is the other guy in the 16th. So we can assume that this circle right here is going to contain 10 dudes, right? From 6 to 16. He's going to be 10 dudes. If it is a perfect circle, would I not then assume that this is 10 dudes? What is this? What is this?
Right? Let's check. Wrong camera. Wrong cameras. There we go. There. Oh, how do I go back? There. Okay, and then we'll check the docking camera, and we'll bring her in. We'll bring her in with the docking camera. All right, here we go. Slow but steady. Come on, girl. Come on. Here is how you grow a beard, Mursa. Listen very closely, okay? I'm only gonna say this one time. So I hope you're writing this down. Ursa, if he's not here, clip it for him. Here's how you grow a beard. Stop shaving. That's the end. I'll say goodbye properly. I just gotta move everything back over here. All right. Oh, there goes my keyboard. Sweet. Oh my gosh. Zeke. Zeke. What?
You can't say damn it.
Okay. You're right. You're right. I can't say. I should watch my language. Okay, go ahead. Whoa, hang on.
I done?
Go out while I finish. I'm still streaming. Go out while I finish. Just a few minutes, okay?
How much? One?
Like 1 minute. Let me just say goodbye to everybody, okay? I know I told you 2 minutes 9 minutes ago, but I'll be done. That clip keeps coming up at the very end of the clip cycle, and I don't know why, but it is great. Yeah, the you can't say damn it should be definitely clipped here. Sorry, I was brushing my hairs, what's left of them. Trying to look somewhat decent for you all today. There we go. Hello, good morning, everybody. Welcome. It's Saturday. It is Saturday, May 10th, 2025, and it's another Lego day. How about that? That'll be great. It's Lego day. Check out Discord chat. I think I just replied to that. You check your Discord chat. Hold on. This is what Ursa sent to me. Whoops. OnlyFans, but it's me building Star Wars Lego sets while making fun of the fans that think Star Wars isn't and has never been political. This guy stole my whole thing. Does he know that I exist? The problem is I don't get to do it enough. That's really my biggest problem. I can't do it enough to like to earn this, you know. So I need more. I need more Lego, and I need more Lego Star Wars, and I need more money and places to put it. So, you know, I feel like that's not on me. I'm trying my best. That is funny though. You're right. You're right. That was pretty funny. I said he stole my whole identity. Anyway, the Phantom Menace today is Ursa. Congratulations, Ursa. You're 95, slowly but surely approaching 100. And Ams checked in early this morning. Hi, Ams. How are you? And check-in from Ursa, and a check-in from Reaper, and a check-in from Old School Quarter. The House Mersa represent... House Ursa, sorry. Not House Mersa. House Ursa representing. Good to see you all. So today, since it is Saturday, we're going to be doing a little something. Come on. There we go. There we go. Oh, it's chopper time. I don't think we'll finish this today. Excuse me. Although he's kind of small. He's kind of a small guy. We're going to make a war criminal. Speaking of war crimes, just kidding. You all know about Spooky's war crime video. If you don't at this point, what are you doing? What are you doing? But yeah. Chopper, if you haven't seen Rebels, the box is big. It's not that big of a box. It's about the size of... Okay, it's a little bit bigger than my face. This is not that big. Really. Not for... I feel like the R2-D2 one is much bigger. R2's a much taller droid than Chopper is, though. Anyway, Chopper is kind of a short king. I guess is why I identify with him so much. Let's open this bad boy from the bottom. Look at it. Get all the bags out in order. Yeah, I mean, this is not... How many pieces is this? This is only 1,039 pieces, you know. Hi, Binge. How you doing? Mommy, I want R2-D2. We have R2-D2 at home. R2-D2 at home. Chopper. Stickers, yay. And it's all... They're all bent up. They're all bent up, Lego. Where's the quality control? Hire me for quality control. I will hand test every Lego set in existence if you hire me. If you guys know anybody at Lego, let me know. Alright, so this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Load these bad boys down here. Can't believe this. I can't believe this. Not only do I have to do stickers. Look, they're falling off the edge. They're already falling off. That's gonna be fun. Let's see. Clumsy's here. Hi, Clumsy. Chrissy Croft is here as well. Hello. Good morning. Pop the stickers under a book to flatten them out. You know what? You're probably right. Should we use the... Actually, you know what would be best? The Star Wars chat pack, because it's kind of got a little bit of a weight to it, right? I'm gonna flip it this way. There we go. How's that? That'll work. My grandmother used to work at Lego Billund when she was young. No way. No way. Kind of a dream job for me would be to work for Lego in some kind of capacity. I do, in my current day job, do a lot of like distribution management kind of stuff and buying systems management. I've done allocations management in the past. So something along those lines. Well, not like the most exciting job. I'd rather do it connected to Lego than probably any other company, you know. The piece rolled, you legit thought it was a bug? Did you bat at the screen? It's basically like Sabine, you know? I think I'm gonna sandwich the stickers over here so that it's out of frame. There we go. Excuse me, shoes on the production line. Excuse me. That's cool. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I don't know. It just seems like a decent company to work for. I hear that the people who work there love their benefits package and whatnot. Please, Lego, take half my paycheck. Just give me Lego sets. I mean, let's be real. That's what would happen, right? Can't wait for you to forget you got the stickers on. Where are the stickers? You know what? You're probably right. That'll probably happen. That'll probably happen. Hey, there's the pink brick. Look at all these colorful pieces inside this robot. All right, I got the instructions online here in front of me. Yeah, this one is one of those build together ones where I have never done this, nor do I think I will. But supposedly you can build it together. Each of you have like your own separate instructions. I guess I could see somebody building both of the legs, somebody building the head, and somebody building the torso, and then it all coming together. I could see that being possible on this set. Would I enjoy that? I mean, maybe I'd enjoy it with like me, the wife, and the kid, and we're building something together. You know, maybe. Otherwise, if it's anyone else, no. Nah. Another brick separator. All right. Well, here we go. Making Voltron. Voltron, they made a Lego Voltron set, didn't they? It was pretty big too, right? People says, this poor girl. Who are you talking about? Well, guys, how'd your week go? We usually use Saturdays to recap as well. How did it go? Did we survive? Feels like we did. This little grill piece is really interesting because all these little intersections here become places for studs to lock in, which is kind of cool. You have it. Did you have to did you and MRSA build that one together? Okay, I guess we go like this. You finally have a free weekend. That's great. I tell you what, there's nothing better in life when I finally got a job that had weekends off. And I know that that's a fortunate position to be in, and a hashtag blessed position to be in. Privileged, you could say. But like, man, that was really game changing. I love having weekends. Band, you survived barely. Was this your first full real week on the job outside of training? You don't work at the moment, but you've been busy. Everybody does something, right? You don't have to work for the man. It's not worth it. First full week, 22,000 steps a day. So many blisters. You're gonna be in such great shape, as if you weren't already. I've seen the pictures. But like, that's gonna be, hopefully you'll get used to it. The blisters will go away. You'll be like 22,000 steps. Pff, it was a light day. It was a light day. But I totally get being on your feet all day is rough. It's hard. And I respect you for doing it. I respect our postal workers. Let's see. Pins? Oh, nope. Flip it around. There we go. They almost got me. My feet just need to accept their fate. Exactly. They're screaming out like, what are you doing to us right now? And you're like, listen, guys. You better get used to it. This is new year, new me. How many dogs have attacked you? Does that actually like happen a lot? I know it's a trope, but none. I've made friends with several. That's great. That's so cool. Can you just imagine just walking through? How's the weather? How has the weather been? I don't know what it's like where you are. Because I would imagine that's going to make all the difference, right? If it's like rainy or cold or super hot, I could totally see that. Like, that's going to make all the difference in whether or not it is enjoyable. But if you have decent weather most of the time, it can be a pretty enjoyable job. There's one garden I won't go near because a dog would rip my throat out. Oof. Yeah, don't go there. Next week, psychiatrist appointment, vet appointment for my cat, concert, birthday for my partner, and a motor festival. Ooh. That sounds like fun. That is a big week. Well, if you got a cat, we have a lot of cat lovers in here, so you're in a good place. I have found this to be very interesting lately. They've done this on... Excuse me. Oh man, that was gross. They did this on the Star Wars sign behind me here. They're using these little clips and these I don't think they're new, but I've never seen them used this way. These little like clip pillars to go like this. And now we got studs on top here and studs on top here. Just an interesting way to do it, and not, in my mind, not fully necessary. You want to hear that pop though? You want to hear that click? Listen to this. Ooh. It's been super hot the last couple of weeks. Hopefully when the weather's nicer, the job will be even more enjoyable. But yeah, I imagine that's when the job's definitely going to be at its hardest, right? Is when you're like, gosh, I don't want to walk. Not only do I not want to walk, I don't want to walk when the weather is gross. Lots to do next week. My introverted self is going to be put on a test. I feel you. I can also relate to that too. I work from home ever since COVID, and occasionally I have to go into the office, and I feel like a completely different person when I'm in the office versus when I'm here. I think they call that masking, don't they? I think. Okay. Yeah, masking. Yeah. Yeah, I do that. I've told people before that I feel like here on stream is one of the few places that I feel like I'm pretty darn genuine, you know? Oh, I forgot a piece. I think you guys get the realest side of me. At least that's what I feel like anyway. Which it could be kind of sad, but you know. We don't think about that. Oh, other side. This side right here. Gotta remember to wet my plants today. Yes, you do. If you're wearing the shirt. If you're wearing the shirt, you'll never forget. How's the plants going so far, Ams? Uh-oh. Oh. Haha. Other side. Okay. There we go. Perfect. Yeah, that's probably a good idea too. Not me though. I would never wear the same shirt 2 days in a row. It's not why I purposely got a whole bunch of shirts of the same type and color. So that no one would notice if I didn't change shirts throughout the day. I'm getting better at it though. Ever since I started working out a little bit more, I've been showering a lot more too. Don't get me wrong, I was never like a gross person who like never showered, right? But I definitely needed to shower more than I did. You know what? You get it. You know what I mean. I hope. Just more than I currently do. But it's been good. It's been good so far. I've had a really good week, I think. Food-wise and working out, I think has been pretty good. I need to get next week dialed in. I'll do a little prep work on that today. Set the menu, make the grocery list, things like that. You think they made it through the night? I hope so. Yeah, I wear them like 3 to 4 because I work from home. It doesn't really matter. Yeah. That's the thing that I get caught into is like, well, I didn't really do anything today. So my goal then is to do things that make me need to shower, you know? Did I miss you, boy Elf's chicken? Did I not acknowledge you, boy? I might have missed you, boy. You boy Elf, I'm sorry. I'm acknowledging it now. Thank you for checking in. He says, hi, Ursa. You're going to make wok with turkey and udon noodles. That sounds good. That sounds pretty good. Okay. Ursa, have you guys watched Andor yet? The last arc, or the next arc? The last arc comes out this week, which I'm very excited for because this has been a blast. This has been a blast and a half of a show. Edge of your seat kind of things. You have not yet. You should. I know it's a big commitment. Like, I know it's like that's like almost 4 hours worth of content that you have to like watch every week. Big commitment. But it is good. It is very good.
Hello there.
Hello there. Who is this? Ryan Fox, thanks for following. Appreciate that. Good to see you. My thing about Andor, like season 1, so no season 2 spoilers, season 1 only. But back when season 1 was out, I remember so many people being like, oh, Andor's the best piece of Star Wars we've had ever since Return of the Jedi, or ever since this or that, or whatever the case may be. And I don't know. I kind of felt like a lot of people were saying that to sort of like take a dig at the other Star Wars stuff, of which I still also like the other Disney Star Wars stuff. Like, I mean, like The Mandalorian's a great show. Ahsoka's a great show. I can't wait to have more of that. Like, there's so much to enjoy in like Disney Star Wars. It doesn't have to all be your cup of tea, but there's so much to enjoy that like the people who are like, well, I hate Disney Star Wars, other than maybe Andor. Andor is pretty good. Or Andor's like, or they'll just really hype up Andor as like, this is the most amazing piece of Star Wars media we've ever experienced. And I'm like, don't get me wrong, it's good. It's good. And I remember liking the first season and be like, this is super interesting. This is really great. Now in the second season, I feel like maybe they might have a point. And that's all I'm going to say, because I can't spoil anything else. But they might I might be coming around to their point of view. I don't know. It's pretty darn good. It's really good. But it's different. It's not like the other Star Wars in that it's like it's a different type of story. It's not even that heavily like action focused or anything. It's just a very different type of story. So if you like space battles and lightsabers and stuff, you're not, you're gonna like it that much. Is there any Star Wars you don't like? I would have to say that if the two bottom ones for me are definitely Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, and The Rise of Skywalker. However, that being said, I could always find something to love about both of those movies. There's a lot of really cool stuff that happens in The Rise of Skywalker. There's a lot of really cool stuff that happens in Attack of the Clones. Specifically in Attack of the Clones, I really like Obi-Wan Kenobi's like arc with going to Kamino. He does go to Geonosis later, but going to Kamino and meeting Jango Fett. I like Jango Fett as a character. I think that it's really cool. I like his ship. I like the whole duel that they have on the platform and then in space. I like how Jango's formidable to Obi-Wan. I don't like how Mace Windu dispatched him so easily. But I guess that's supposed to be because Mace Windu's such a baddie, But I would have preferred, I don't know, a little more of a fight. Because he really put up a good fight with Obi-Wan. So there's some good stuff in there. The asteroid chase, the clones in general. I love Phase 1 clones, things like that. Good stuff in there. Rise of Skywalker, kind of the same thing. Like, I like Rey as a character. I don't mind that Rey became a Skywalker. It's not about that. I don't like the way that they treated Finn as a character. I think that they... I think that even if you don't like The Last Jedi, at least he had something to do in that movie. And in this one, all they could do is like make him follow Rey around and be like, Rey, I got to tell you something. Rey, 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 and yell, Rey, 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 Rey. And it's like they could have given him so much more to do. I think I like his final arc where he's like on the Star Destroyer with the horses and stuff. I think that's pretty cool. But I just think they could have done better with the character. And I don't like that she's a Palpatine. I like what The Last Jedi set up, that anyone can have the Force, that it is not about who you were born to or what family you were in. I like that a lot. And then I think they completely backtracked on it in Rise of Skywalker. And that's kind of why Rise of Skywalker is like my least favorite Star Wars movie. Even though the duel on the Death Star ruins is sick. Like, I love that. But like the reason they were there and how they found the Death Star ruins was weird and contrived and odd. But anyway, see, you know? What are your thoughts on the Christmas special? It's ridiculous and fine. It's not canon, so like it doesn't... I don't get mad about it. It's very bizarre, don't get me wrong. I mostly laugh at it. I've always really liked Star Wars, but it's only relatively recently as I'm trying to branch outside of the main movies. Anything y'all recommend? That's a great question. The High Republic. The High Republic novels and maybe graphic novels if you're into that kind of thing. I would say try the first book called The Light of the Jedi. And if the setting and the setup doesn't hook you, then like you can dip out. It's fine. But like that book like roped me into the High Republic, and to my shame, I haven't really read a whole lot more. I cannot get this to connect for the life of me. Come on. But yeah, and also yeah, I mean there's the whole Clone Wars series, which I think is kind of a slog to get through, but I do really love Rebels, you know. I don't like Eclipse, but I still watch it as part of the Twilight story. Exactly. Yeah, it's kind of that same thing. You're like, ugh, I have my problems with this movie, but like, you know, not in the way that other people have problems with this movie. I feel like I always have to kind of like distinguish myself that way because I'm not a sequel hater. You know, I'm just not. I will never be. However, just so happens that my least favorite Star Wars movie is a sequel. But it's just not for the same reason that some of these other guys. Like, for me, it's about, like, I think it made the character a weaker character now. And there's still hope for her, you know? I'm cool with her taking the name Skywalker. I don't care. I think that's fine. I think it's understandable. They could have probably gone further to, like, you know, really solidify that, like, not only did she take the name, but, like, Luke was very okay with it, you know? Or he wanted her to take it. I'm cool with that, you know? But instead, like the movie and other people make it seem like she just like took it because she wanted it, you know. But yeah, you should definitely. The Tales series is pretty good too. If you like if you like the Clone Wars and Rebels and stuff, the Tales series is pretty good. But yeah, I think if you're trying to like break out of like the current canon and just be like, that's fine, you know. If you're looking to kind of break away from all that, I think the High Republic is the place to go. Because it is canon. It is canon, but it's set like a long time ago and in a galaxy far, far away. I still firmly believe that there's something for everyone in Star Wars. Even AMs, believe it or not. I still believe that. Even Tony Gilroy said that he made Andor so that people who didn't even like Star Wars could watch it and get something out of it. And I think AMS would probably like Andor if she gave it a shot. I'm not a canon stickler about anything. A good story is a good story. Well, then if you don't care about like what's currently canon or not, then there's a bunch of Legends stuff too that like isn't technically movie canon, but is still like, you know, it's still respected, you know. It's still like highly respected story making. Like I would say like the whole like new Jedi Order arcs of Luke like starting his own school and Luke and Leia having kids and the Yuuzhan Vong War, like going all the way into that arc and then all the way into like, oh, Star by Star, the most heartbreaking story ever. I won't spoil it for you if you haven't seen it or read it. And then even further, like there's so much in Legends lore that you could get to that, yeah, if you want to kind of break out of the current, if you're just kind of like tired of the current canon, there's so much to go. The Thrawn books are good. Yeah. The Thrawn trilogy, Heir to the Empire. Let's see. How does this go? Okay. Then it just sits like this. This is an interesting little contraption. Okay. Okay. We're going to do this. I got to like hold this in place while I do this, I guess. Hold on. Let me go back up. Yeah. Okay. I wasn't supposed to do anything else yet. Is the music too loud for you guys? Let me know. It always sounds loud to me in my ears, but I don't think I don't think it's super loud. There was a thing for me, you just missed it. So Tony Gilroy is a creator of Andor, and he was saying the other day that he tried to make Andor for people who weren't Star Wars fans. You didn't, or rather, you didn't have to be a Star Wars fan to enjoy it. And I think he's right. I think he's right about that. You could turn it up a little bit. Okay, cool. What I'll do is I'll turn it up a little bit, and then I'll bring my ear monitors out a little, so I don't have to. It's always louder in my monitors than you guys hear it, which I think I prefer though, because I'd rather know if I'm like blasting your eardrums or something, you know? I'd rather know. If it's blasting my eardrums, then it's probably blasting yours. Oh, come here, come here. Another gray piece, okay. Get over here. Come on. Keeping this whole contraption together is very interesting. This I think is going to be what makes his head kind of like wobble. You see how like wobbly this is? All right. Let's set this down for a second. Or I missed a step. I need to give Andor another shot by I just CBA? Do you mean I just can't? You should give Andor another shot. Absolutely. Especially, so what I would say is like at this point, wait. Next week is the final arc of season 2, which will be the final like season of it. It's ending after this, which is kind of, in a way is kind of nice. They're telling a nice rounded story and they're done. You know? I respect that. I think that's good, you know? Whoa, wait a minute. How does that work? Hold on. I completely forgot a step. My apologies. And then then just binge it, you know? Have it on. I really think you'll like it. And maybe even just don't even think about it being Star Wars. Who was it that I was talking to? Who was it? Ursa, was it? Somebody told me they forgot they were. Oh, it was Spooky. Spooky Deer's finally watching it after kind of being on like a little Star Wars, I don't know what you'd call it, little Star Wars hiatus. He just hasn't been into like what they've been doing lately. And he's been watching it now. He's like, I kind of forgot that I was watching Star Wars. This is pretty great, you know? Oh, hello there. What is going on here? Creating with Kara Davies. Hello, we heard there was shenanigans. There is shenanigans here. Create and the crew be sliding up in your chat. Hello, everybody. I'm so glad to see you. You guys were doing Lego too. I am so happy to have more Lego creators rating in. That is so great. Welcome, everybody. I am Nonder. It's so good to meet you all. I am a very big Lego, specifically Lego Star Wars fan. If you can't tell. But it's so good to see you all here. Thank you so much. What were you guys building today? And I would love to hear more about what you do on your channel as well. Creating with Kara Davies. Thank you so much for that. I'm actually going to throw you a follow too. Let me pull you up real quick. Let me give you a follow too, because I'm always looking for
Hello there.
more Lego creators there. Thank you so much for the follow. That guy? Can I just say that guy? Thank you so much for the follow. I really appreciate that. I sent you a follow over there as well. Kittles, thank you for the follow. Doing a little nanoscale set. Oh, I love nanoscale. Nanoscale is so cool. I love that. I like micro scale, nanoscale, midi scale. I got a lot of those midi scale ships over here. That's really cool. So I don't know. We do Lego over here. I try to do Lego on Saturdays. I am trying to commit to doing something Lego, even if I don't have a current set to build. Today we're building, sorry, wrong desktop, wrong one. Today we're building Chopper. That's this one from Star Wars Rebels. Building Chopper. This is a set I was very excited for. But also the last one, let's see. We got a follow also from Kittles82 and Kara. Thank you, Kara. I appreciate that. Oh yeah, Bebo is a robot. He's also an astromech droid that we're trying to teach through chat to make him a nice person. Cooperman85, thank you for the follow as well. Holy cow, guys, it's so great to see you all. But yeah, we do Lego here on Saturdays. I'm trying to commit to that. I have a whole behind me here in this closet. I have a whole collection full of loose pieces that are just begging for me to make something. So I think I'm gonna try to do that on Saturdays when I don't have a set, because obviously this is a very expensive hobby. Yeah. When people say my name right, it's an Insta follow. I think because it's so long, I took the time to stop and like really read it instead of just trying to power through it, you know? A fellow Lego person, I have been a Lego fan my whole life. It's amazing. Okay. Yeah, it's an expensive hobby, so I gotta slow down. I'm with you, Ryan. I gotta slow down and I gotta kind of use what I have. I think I'm gonna start doing like some challenge builds where it's like, I'm gonna take one of the things I've been seeing lately, especially a lot on like Instagram and stuff. I've been seeing people build alternative models out of the pieces of a current set. And so I don't know which set I'm going to do yet, but I do usually like retire sets and put them into the collection. And so the next time I'm ready to retire a set, I'll be thinking about what else I could build out of those pieces, because I feel like that would be a nice contained, relatively small challenge to do. I could just keep all the pieces in like a bin or something. Most say Kara and it drives me nuts. I get you. I assumed with the K it was more Kara, right? In fact, I think I knew a Kara in college, so that's why I was like, okay. I just went with it, you know? I built the Rainbow Millennium Falcon out of the unicorn recently. I think I saw that one. Did you have that on Instagram somewhere? It gets mispronounced all the time. I feel ya. Okay. Well, that's cool. I'm so glad you guys are all here. During the week, I do what we call the pre-work coffee hour, which is about an hour or so before my work shift, where I play a game typically. Right now, we're playing through Mass Effect Andromeda. So you'll see me live also during the week, playing some games as well. How does this go? This is telling me, okay, I got it. It's so wiggly. Oh, come on, get in there. Okay, come on, get in there. It's so wiggly. Oh yeah, big Mass Effect fan too. I've loved the original trilogy, and we replayed it on stream. It's been a couple years ago now, but I was always like, I'll replay Mass Effect Andromeda, and I never got around to it till now. Look at that. That's how his little head's gonna wobble. Isn't that great? That is one thing about Chopper, is his little head likes to just kind of like wobble around. I don't know if it's because he's got a servo loose or something, and they just never fixed it or what, but excuse me. It adds to his character. You picked up the bunny set so I can build the face hugger out of the bunny. That's so great. That'd be funny. The instructions were free on Rebrickable. I've seen a lot of people get the unicorn just to build the falcon. Okay. I get you. I think what I really need to do, guys, somehow, I need to set up a collection cam. Because the way that I have my current setup here, you can kind of see it. You can see the shelf here. You can see the Millennium Falcon and the UCS Razor Crest. But there's sets up here and there's sets all the way through here. I need to set up like a camera specifically to show that off. Because it's kind of a shame that it's out of view, but like it's a bit much to have behind me all the time, you know? I love Alien. The original Alien, like I recently watched that for the first time because I didn't see it as a kid. And man, the original Alien is like so good. Hi Lars, good morning. How's it going? Got to raid and run? Yes, if you guys got to go, I completely understand. Do your post-stream care, all of that kind of stuff. And thank you so much for the raid, I appreciate it. And Bogan's raiding us now too. Bogan, how's it going, buddy? How are you doing? Bogan raid. Shout out to Bogan, playing software and game development, our resident game dev, Bogan. How is the game dev going? For those of you who don't know me, hi, I'll do the whole spiel again. My name is Nonder. You can call me Non if you want, or Nonder, whichever floats your boat. But here we are doing some Lego today, building the Chopper set from Rebels, and Ahsoka actually, and also he was he not in Rogue One as well? Did he not have a little cameo in Rogue One? I think he did, as did the Ghost. But thank you so much, Bogan. I'm assuming you were working on your game, huh? Alien Isolation is so great. Ams, thank you for that list. Yes, I do have a whole archive channel. Thank you so much for that. And have I put Alien Isolation in a playlist yet? I don't think I have.
Credits will define.
Bacon, no bake, cake, yes bake. Beer can, no bake, cookie, yes bake.
Okay. Thanks for the bit. Bacon, no bake, cake, yes bake. Beer can, no bake, cookie, yes bake. I agree, I guess. Doing good. First stream back this month. Got a 10-hour stream done. How do you do it? How do you do that? Look at this. So now this is a little handle where we can move him around. We can jiggle him around. Isn't that great? Just showing off stuff from the new game I'm working on and getting a lot done tomorrow. That's very cool. Very cool. Okay, they're showing me that works. Okay, cool. We're on to the next bag. Bag number 2. Isolation was too hard for me. I gave up so early. So I'm the same way, Ryan. Not only was it too hard, it was also like kind of nerve-wracking, and I'm not a big fan of nerve-wracking games, but you know what did it for me? Playing it on stream did it for me. I was trying to play it by myself before, and I think that's my biggest mistake. But having honestly, this is gonna sound really bizarre, but the emotional support of chat like really helped me power through it, and I got to see what an actually incredible game it was. I put it on easy mode. Shh, you don't need to tell them that. It was still scary. I guess that's probably why all those people didn't see me, huh? I kind of forgot that I put it on easy mode. Well, did I do easy or did I do normal? I'd have to go back and watch it. Grim, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate that. And for the, oh, that's the same guy with the bit. Well, thank you for that too. The bacon cake, yes. Bacon beer can. No bake cookie, yes, bake, you know? Important. Can we be fast and they be kissing boys? Okay, Bebo. That is Banj's thing. You gotta be careful. Yes, if you got a raid and run, I completely understand. Do what you guys gotta do. I know time zones also are a little bit whack, so if you guys got a raid and run, totally understand. I am actually early. This is early for me. It is currently 6:41 a.m. on a Saturday morning. So I understand a lot of the people probably raiding and saying hello here this morning are probably headed to bed. So completely understand. Well, here, you don't even need to remind me. Let's do that one next, shall we? 9:40 p.m. Alien Isolation. Come on. There we go. I have a cool thumbnail for that one. So there's my post-its. There was like one personal thing on that, but I don't think it's
bits. 20 bits from Grim Gits. It's bits from Gits. Grim Gits bits.
That's awesome. Thank you so much again. Grim Gits bits. Gives bits, 20 bits from Grim Gits. It's bits from Gits, Grim Gits bit. That is so hard to say. I'm so impressed with the text-to-speech for getting that. That's pretty funny. I just happened to wake up at 4:30 a.m. today. Glad I checked Twitch. Love the hangs here. We love that vibe. Like, that's kind of the vibe we're going for, is like, we're just kind of hanging out. That's sort of what we do during the week too. While we're playing a game, we're just talking about how our weeks are going. We're getting ourselves mentally prepared to enter the work day. Or end the workday, because there is a lot of like Australian folks who hang out here as well, which I greatly appreciate. Love the Aussies. Love them. Absolutely love them. The way you just wrote on that post-it note was so dark-sided. Do you mean like my handwriting? Or just like... Here, hang on. My handwriting is pretty awful. I'll give you that much. I'm gonna try to black out something here that's a little more personal. It was something I had to do for I had to pay a medical bill. Oh, the position? Oh, where I was like right here. Here, I can show you my handwriting if you really want to see it. I don't think this is incredibly doxing, but it has somebody's name on it too. So I'm trying to... Here. Yeah, I think that's okay. Yeah, there you go. There you go. So I already did the Bricktails collection. I need to edit the Phantom Menace for Reaper, which is still one of my to-dos because I'm scared to do it. And then I got to clean up my PC. I got to check for extra memory slots when I do that. And then there's my Alien Isolation. And then I downloaded Space Marine because we started playing that. And I made my Bricktails collection. It's horrible. Tear it off and use a clean sheet. It's not full yet. It's not full yet. And I got stuff on there and I don't want to rewrite it. I'm lazy. Anyway. Alien Isolation. What? Playlist?
Credits will define.
It's Grim Gits bits, but 1 bits is pretty shits. It fits with Grim Gits limits.
1 bits is pretty poops. I get you. Thank you though. I can't get it to focus. There we go. Playlist. There. Telling you, I never bragged about my handwriting. I never did. You can't find it. If I slow down a little bit and write a little smaller, I can typically write a little nicer than that. But when I'm just like, you know, jotting down a note, it's, yeah. Unfocused, it was sus. Alien. I do a shorthand. Do you not do shorthand? Is that not how you do shorthand? Like when Reaper redeemed it, but it said you did it. Yeah, like the when the stream broke twice, she tried to get Phantom Menace twice, and for some reason it didn't work. It didn't work. So I need to add 2 to her account, but man, I get nervous whenever I get into that file because I don't fully understand how that file works. And I went to go overwrite it and it was like error, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna wipe everybody's Phantom Menace data, and I got too freaked out about it. So I'm like, I'm just gonna write this down and I'm gonna try to handle it later. I'm gonna look into it later. And just and try to figure it out. I will figure it out eventually. Thanks for the lurk, Bogan. Appreciate you. Ow. That always happens? What does? While you're at it, add one to me since I was cheated a while ago. If I can figure out how to do it, you're right. Plus, I'm gonna do a little plus. Ursa X1. How's that? We do have a Discord server. It is currently a private server. If you hang around a little bit more than likely you'll pass the vibe check. We kind of just do vibe checks for the Discord. I don't like people having direct access to us like all of a sudden. We have a really cool, really chill, relatively small Discord community going on, and I'd like to kind of keep it as cool as possible. So if you stick around for a little while and you kind of pass the vibe check, I'm sure so far you're doing a great job. I'll say that, you're doing great. But it isn't really like a Discord meant to like promote the stream per se. It's kind of more like a collection of those of us who are, I mean, dare I say friends? Is that something I can say? Honestly not, I don't care. I don't want the whole file deleted just for that. That's why I'm being careful. If I had come back and be like, guys, I've made a huge mistake and everyone loses all their phantoms, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I looked up the definition of friend and it's Yunnan. Oh, thank you, Ursa. I'm not trying to create any parasocial stuff here, but it just happens that, as you go on this thing, you do start to like really get to know people, and you get a vibe of like how they are, and it's like, okay, this person isn't going to cause any problems. I'll just give it to you straight. It's a legitimately legally recognized cult. We are the non-Goliaths. Oh no, it does kind of have culty. That's not it either. That's not it, I swear. I swear I'm not starting a cult. We are called the non-Goliaths though. Oh no. Oh no. Yeah, it's not a cult, it's just a highly exclusive place that you can only get to if you pass certain I wanted to say initiation rites. That's not, yeah. Well, it's not a cult. It's definitely not a cult. No. She was the wrong name and wasn't the town. Get raided when raiding what looks like it's easier to get me to go on. Okay. All right. You can really meet some cool people on the internet. A lot of people you feel at home with. You really can. You have to still be very careful, and I hope you all are practicing careful internet behavior. One of the things we have here, you might notice in the rules, is we do try to keep age talk to a minimum, so that you can't be like identified by your age or anything like that. And that's mainly because like it's mostly to protect children, right? We're not like an 18 plus channel specifically. I didn't really want to make that. I didn't want to make that distinction, but we do want especially kids to protect themselves online and not be telling creepy guys how old they are, So that's kind of why that rule exists, but I think we all should follow it, just trying to be safe. We're trying to be cool, you know? But yes, I've also met a lot of very cool people on the internet. And one of which I later went on to marry. So, you know, it definitely can happen. There are definitely good people out here. But there's also a bunch of creeps, you know? Bunch of creeps. Wow, that doesn't seem very sturdy, does it? All right, just trust the process. Trust the process, Non. Not to creepy guys, but not to us either. Well, exactly. You never know who's a creepy little guy, you know? I don't think Lars is a creepy little guy. I don't think anybody here is, but, you know, we're trying to make sure that everybody stays safe, you know? Everybody should be careful in the internet, but you can find some gems out there. I think if you just keep your wits about you, and you're like, you know, you've been around the block a few times, so you're extra careful about what information you give people. Yes, I think that is definitely possible. I'm just a little guy, not a creepy little guy, just a little guy. I found my forever B-Day card. It said happy 29th birthday, and oh, in quotations too. I wanted Mark to get it laminated for every year. That's pretty funny. You totally should do that. Just the running joke is that he gives you the same card, the exact same card every year. You know, I love it. I love that. Can we also for a moment mention Ams's gardening t-shirt? If Ams would like to mention Ams's gardening t-shirt, since that's something that happened on Discord, I'm more than happy to talk about it.
Credits over time. Here
Whoa.
you go, me lord. Grimgits gives bits, 100 bits from Grimgits. Ain't no shits, it's 100% legit gets bits, drop in bits that never quits. No tricks, just clicks and blitz, getting lit off Grimgits bits.
This is an amazing little, I don't know, what would you call this? I wouldn't want to call it a joke. But this is an amazing little limerick. I think that's a great word for it, right? Little limerick in here. Thank you so much for 100 bits, Grimgits. I love getting bits from Grimgits bits. Grim gives the best bits. Ain't no shits. Grim gives the best bits. I'll work on it, but it's great. It's a bits bit. It's a bit about bits. You're so right. It's a bit. Oh, I'm disappointed in myself for not thinking of that first. You read that and I just never seen that joke before, honestly, and it's brilliant. The one on her t-shirt. I also think it was pretty great. It's a bits bit. Guys, this has already been like such a fun morning. I thank you all for being here, really. I know I say this a lot and I say this often, so you're probably already sick of me saying it, but like I remember doing this kind of stuff to literally no one, and it's really wild that there's people out there who want to be here on a Saturday morning or whatever day or morning or night it is where you are, and just watch a silly little guy. I am a silly little guy too. Well, not so little, but anyway, watch me build Lego sets and just talk about stuff. That's pretty special. So thank you. I appreciate that. I'm gonna cry. It may seem like a joke for you, but I literally only sometimes wet my plants.
Back to the single bit. Grimgits is such a nitwit. Anyways, I think that's it. It's the bit where I quit.
It's the bit where I quit. And then the bit is that you keep going? Is that the next bit? Well, thank you for the single bit. I still appreciate any bit. Any bit that any bit that Grimgits gets me is a good Grimgits bit. I appreciate it. Let's see. So that means you sometimes you water your plants. Is that what you're saying? Sometimes you forget. That is a big problem in our household too. We don't do too good with plants. We need to get better at it. And the wife she's been really wanting a garden, and I know it's going to be a lot of work, but I need to just finally bite the bullet and do it, you know? We have to clear some space for it first. That's why you have Lego plants. We have a lot of those Lego plants too, yeah. We do. Also get a bird bath too. I love little bird baths. We have a bird feeder out there. Apparently I need to get a bird bath for outside my window here so that I can actually be snowed on. Birds eat bugs. Oh, I thought you wanted me to be Snow White. I thought that's where you're going with that. But that's where that came from. I was looking out my window and Ursa was like, you need a little bird feeder so that you can be like Snow White. Pretty funny. Wish me luck. I'm sunburned and my cat needs a shower because she stinks. I might not survive. Oh no. Good luck. Half the branches were dead, but after a deep soak in the sink, butt chugging, it started to grow new buds. Butt chugging? Oh gosh, Beebo's just learned that new word. I could just hear his gears turning in the background, and he's like, ooh, that's an interesting word. How can I use that to make everyone groan? I love butt chugging my plants. Wait, what does that mean? I literally cackled out loud. Wait, what does that actually mean? Do you just mean like by the roots? Like the root, you just dip the roots in water? Those ears were burning. They are now. Look at them. They're turning red. Okay. Looks like this is one side of the old droid's body. Okay. Perfect. Look at that. There's where one of his little legs will go, I think. Lars gets me. They do. Yeah, and they suck up as much water as they want until they're saturated. Interesting. Is that a way to kind of bring a plant back from like the brink of death? Do plants... This is gonna sound like a stupid question. I don't know if I want to ask it. Do plants die? Like I know they are alive, right? In a sense of the word. But like, yeah, I guess you can't always bring them back by watering them, right? If you took a plant that was like completely dead, and you did the whole, for lack of a better word, butt chugging. Please don't clip that out of context. If you did that whole thing, would something sprout from it, or would it technically be like a new plant? You have input from real scientists. TM. From Banj? Yes, plants die. They do die. If it's dead, it's dead. Okay. I guess it's just like, when do you know that it's fully dead, and when can you use the butt chug method to bring it back? Hi, Spooky. That's a weird part for you to come in on. Hi. Good morning. Thanks for checking in. Everybody, Spooky and Koro have a very important stream later on this morning in a couple hours, where they'll be playing Surgeon Simulator tied together. If I go long enough, I'd love to raid into them, but I usually end before they start, so we'll see. We'll see how it goes. If we're considering a regular schmegular plant, yeah, just like a, I don't know. Butt chugging is for plants that are just a bit thirsty. Okay. Not like fully dead. Some succulents have a nodule on the root that could spring a new growth. So it would technically be like a new growth if the surface looks dead. So at the only instance, I'd say you could bring it back to life. Okay, I see what you mean. Good morning, butt chuggers? Question mark? If they have wilted beyond a certain point, no amount of butt chugging water will bring them back. Okay, got it. So when it's dead, it's dead. I gotcha. As Luke Skywalker would say, though, in the critically acclaimed movie The Last Jedi, no one's ever really gone. The plants live on in our hearts. Don't judge us on how we take our liquids. At least we're hydrated. You know what they say, hydrate or dihydrate, right, Spooky? That is what they say. You got everything set up for today, Spooky? Everything good to go? All plants go to heaven. I wonder, is there a place in heaven for plants? There's the rainbow bridge for dogs, so what is, or pets in general, I think, right? So what is there for plants? This is quite the conversation for my first impression today. Yeah, sorry. It happens. You'll get used to it. Stick around a while, you'll be used to it. Sometimes I even surprise myself too, you know? Oh. How come that's, there we go, that wasn't clicking. Falling off the trellis is the plant equivalent? Leaf, I am your father. Did you about the author who's getting blasted on social media? No, who's that? Well, that is typically where you go to get blasted, you know? She proudly announced that a dog dies in a book she's writing, and they do not go to heaven. Dogs are just animals, and the moon and the stars do not rotate around them. The reason why our vet bills are so high because we treat them like our family. Unhinged stuff that will make it so nobody buys her book. Why would you do that before your book comes out? Why would you do it anyway? But like, why would you say that to people? Like, people love their pets. Like, don't be mean, dude. Wow. So yeah, must not want anybody to buy her book, huh? If you want to get blasted, social media is not where to go. A different kind of blasted, I think. If you want to get blasted, just basically say anything on social media. Say that you like a Star Wars movie and you'll get called racist. Anyway, I'm not bitter about that at all. I'm still mad about that. You feel right at home. That's good, Ryan. Let's see. I think so. I didn't do a camera test, so hopefully we'll have a few minutes to figure that out with the green screen. But otherwise, easy. The game, on the other hand, will be impossible. I was struggling to do stuff in the menu, and I had full control. Oh, no. Basically, they're going to do this whole, like, sewn together thing in Surgeon Simulator, right? And it should be a very fun time. What? There's tea I need spilled. Did you get called racist for liking a Star Wars film? I did. Well, I mean, I got told that it was a red flag for racism. It was a big red flag that I like and enjoy The Last Jedi, because apparently what they did to John Boyega in that film was horrible. And I'm not even like contesting that, right? I mean, this is Disney we're talking about. They literally like made him smaller for the Chinese release of the film in order to capitulate to a market that doesn't like people of that skin color, you know? So like, I get it. I totally get it. But like me thinking that that's like, I like that Star Wars movie apparently was too much for somebody on TikTok. So I'm just not going to comment on anything ever again, I think. I'm just like, this is, we could have a conversation. We could have a conversation about that. Like if that person come in and said, hey, do you know like how they treated that actor and how they treated that character, and like this is why that might be problematic. I don't know if you know that. I would probably have been the first one to be like, oh hey, you know, I didn't know that. Like that's really interesting. I'll definitely I'll look into that some more. Thanks for bringing that to my attention. But also at the same time, it's just a movie, and you know, the real world things that happen are important. Don't get me wrong. There's very important things that happen in the real world, but like, I don't think me liking that film would inherently make me a racist. You know, I really want to see Thunderbolts, Ursa. I really do. But yeah, it was a little unhinged, and I was just like, can I not say like anything? I can't anything. Like, I totally do not agree with the guys who like go off on their like little like, I said something bad on the internet and got called out for it, and so now I voted for Donald Trump. I'm not gonna be one of those guys. I swear, I promise. I am confident enough in my beliefs and my core moral values. That's not gonna happen to me. That being said, Like I totally like people who aren't sure in themselves and in their core values. That's this kind of stuff that radicalizes people to the other side, because the other side is going to open their arms to them and be like, you're right. Those people are so mean. They're so mean, but you don't have to worry about that over here. We'll take you for, we'll accept you as you are. And hey, did you know that it's cool to say the N-word? And it's like, whoa, hang on. So that's my problem with it, It's just weird. I think Disney did it so the Chinese government didn't have to. Well, I'm sure that the Chinese government had something to say about that, and that's why they did it. But that's still capitulation, He totally got treated like that. Yeah, totally. But it's a red flag. RDMDK, hello, welcome in. Socials have removed all nuance from conversation. I think that's a beautiful conversation to have with somebody about like how the system like churns people and like uses them and then spits them back out again. Like this is Hollywood. This is Disney. Like, like this stuff happens all the time. But there's a much better conversation we can have there than just like, that makes you didn't know this thing. That makes you a red flag. Fitting the nuance into however little characters I have, it's very hard. And I'm nothing if not a nuanced person. Like I look at everything. I'm not perfect, but like I look at everything from like probably to a fault to every single like different angle. And I do mean that probably to a fault. Sometimes it's like you need to just like, understand that you don't need to see every side of every little issue, But yeah, I don't know. I was about to say something really that probably would have launched a really different conversation than I think we want to have right now. What does that look so? Oh, wow. The angle of that just looks really odd, doesn't it? I think it's the angle of the phone lens, making that look like it's stretching. Anyway, it's really helped me become concise when I need to be and so on. So, okay. So you do love, I thought you were being sarcastic, that you're like, I love trying to fit nuance. Like, okay, so you really mean that you like to try to like be as concise about what you say as possible. I wish everybody did that. Yeah. I wish everybody did that. Coffee is so much for streamed on. It is. Time to make coffee. I still got mine. I got to finish mine. Might be weird, but I got more out of arguing with people online than my debate class at uni. The structured debate is an art style that I feel like we are kind of lacking. I don't know. But then again, I also don't see, this is what I mean about seeing multiple sides to things. I also don't like the debate bros all the time. I watch some of them. I watch some. I think it's important to like hear what the other side is saying as far as like their current talking points and arguments about things, and to see somebody dismantle that and take it apart and be like, okay, yeah, that's, and then you hear it again, you hear somebody else making the same point, you're like, I already know why that's debunked, I think there's a way to recognize that the entire structure of society we live in does a lot of bad things, but if you choose to let that steal joy and the good from everything by association, you're actually just perpetuating harm to yourself. You can see and be critical of the bad, but don't blind yourself to the good. Absolutely. And this is the part where I started to reply back to that person, and I tried to think of a way, like, how can I basically, like, I'm sure this person posting that is like an anti-racist, anti-fascist kind of person. Me too, right? Me too. Absolutely. I'm with you. Like, we probably agree on like 99% of things. Well, maybe I'm being very charitable there. Let's say 90%, which is pretty good nowadays. So like, I was trying to find a way to like, how can I make this random person on the internet know that I'm on their side? And I was trying to like craft this response of like, I'm not backing down from what I said. I still like the movie, but like, I don't like racism either, And what I found myself doing is like, it felt like virtue signaling. It felt like I need to prove to this random person online that I'm not racist. And that's when I snapped a little bit, and I was like, you know what? I need to focus better on, like, is there something that I can probably do better to, like, to see these things in society and help deal with them? Absolutely. Right? Absolutely. And I need to not care what that random person on the internet, if they think it's a red flag. I will never meet them. This is kind of what I was talking about the other day, Spooky, where I was asking, how do you make yourself not care what people think of you? Because I care deeply what people think of me. And there are some times where I need to be able to turn that off and be like, you know what? I don't need this person to care what I think. So then I just deleted. I deleted my comment. I was like, I'm done. Goodbye. And I was like, you know what? I think I'm probably just not going to comment on things ever again. Like in that aspect, you know? Because like I thought that this was going to be a chill discussion about like what we like about Star Wars, and I was like, I really like Star Wars. I really like The Last Jedi, and I was like, ooh, yuck, you know? Can't please people all the time. I'm a chronic people pleaser, unfortunately. I gotta get into therapy, I think. I think that's probably the answer to most of my problems. Even though I hate it, I have realized there's a time and place for everything, and not every time and place is a right time and place for social justice, basically. I love that you've seen that. Like, I don't think that... There is definitely a time and place for it. There is definitely a time where we should be holding people accountable. And I think we hold the people who have done the bad things the most accountable. You know what I mean? And like, I think most people, I think what we forget by being online a lot is that most people like are not as plugged into things as we might be. And like most people aren't really thinking much, you know, they're not thinking much about the consequences of like what they're doing. I have a great example, and I'm not going to tell you who this person is, but it's a person that I know. This person, I believe, is like a feminist. This person it's nobody you would know. It's somebody in my personal life. I believe this person believes in like equal justice and equality, and for lack of a better word, DEI, like believes in that this is important, believes in women in leadership in the workplace, is a member of many different organizations that help women, and specifically Black women too, like find jobs and like find employment and be empowered. Women's empowerment, right? And I really look up to this person, and I still do. And then I found out they're a Chris Brown fan, and a part of me is just like, how? And I didn't say this to her, right? But I was like falling under that same trap. But this person, she's a normie, right? Like, I just don't think she's as plugged into like what's happening around. And now you can tell me that like, okay, maybe that points towards an inherent flaw in like their judgment, potentially. But I really think the core of it is that she's not spending her time online and just doesn't really think about things in the way that I think we do, you know? I want to ask her so bad, but I'm also kind of like, I don't want to be that guy, you know? I want to know. I want to ask because I want to know, not because I want to like judge or anything. But I think a lot of more, I hate to say the word normal. Please don't think that I'm making anything seem abnormal or anything like that. But I just mean somebody who is not like online a lot. I think they take the stance of separate the art from the artist, and it's really hard to see beyond that, because surely she has to know, right? But like, she likes the music and the artist so much that it's like, okay, yeah, I guess that for her, she's able to do that. I don't agree with it, but I also don't look at her and think that makes her a bad person. I do look at her and think, I wonder what the decision process was in that. I'm interested to know that, but I try not to look at her as like, you know, a horrible person because of that, right? But yeah, this is kind of the reaction I had. It's like, how do you not know? How is that like, wait, what? I I've seen people hardcore plugging away from Morrissey, Radiohead, or that third band. I forgot what it was. It's just like most people just don't follow this stuff, you know? And even if they did hear about it, they just kind of go, okay. And I think like in order to like reach people like that, we have to be like more forgiving of
It's a roundhouse.
the fact that they're just not as, I hate the word terminally online, but that is kind of, I think that's a little condescending. But Coleman, thank you so much for the roundhouse kick of hydration, also for checking in. Thank you. Thinking and knowing normies don't even tend to think about why they're certain way or believe certain things true. I mean, I don't know if that's, see, I don't even really like the term. Like, I know I was using it. Normal, normie. I just think it's people who aren't experiencing the world in the way that we do, you know? They're not as plugged in, you know? Morally high horse people still have flaws. It's when they refuse to recognize their own faults that I lose confidence in their convictions. I try to keep an attitude of always learning and assuming the best out of people first. That's so great, Ryan. I like that. It's I think the biggest turnoff for me when I'm like listening to somebody talk about politics or anything is their inability to ever admit that they're wrong about something, or to ever like take a step back and go, let's reassess like what we're talking about here. People who are so sure in their convictions of like, I am definitely right, like that makes me hesitate to trust them. And it's only because I've been burned before. So like I try to get to know like what a person's actual like beliefs and convictions and stuff are, what their core values are. I've been really big on like this idea of like core values lately, and I've been thinking about it a lot in my own life, almost to the point where like I feel like I should write mine down, because I think I have some, but I just need to like get them on paper somewhere. And then just like, instead of asking people, okay, like, what do you think about, gosh, what hot button topic can I take that's not going to be radioactive? I don't know. What do you think about tariffs? You know, what do you think about tariffs? And if I can get down to more of like, what do you think is your core values about how we should be treating the citizens of our own nation? Not even talking about the other countries, but the impacts it's going to have on the people who actually live here. Like, what? If I can get down to your core value, maybe then we can convince each other that, you know, that our way is right. Look at that. Isn't that sick? Man, he is such a little guy. This is such a little guy. He's going to look so small next to R2. Thinking or knowing normies don't even tend to think about whether they have a certain way to believe certain things. People that were specifically pro-Palestine, that is, forgot to add that part about thinking or knowing normies don't even tend to think about it. I guess I think I get what you mean. I think. What does Spooky say here? Everyone has a guilty pleasure. That's true, but she was very open about it. She was very open about getting tickets, and I was just like, oh, okay, all right. I mean, you know, but like, I know this person has done well and has done good in the industry she's in, and like we've had multiple conversations, and like I trust her, and so I was just kind of taken aback of like, oh, okay. But then I had to kind of think, you know, I don't agree with that decision. Does that negate everything that she's done for people around her? And I don't think it does, but it is interesting. I'll tell you that. It is interesting. Excuse me. It is very interesting. Yeah, so like one of the things that I learned, and one of the things that people who are socially aware and support Palestine still being fans of Radiohead, for example, Tom York. I don't know Tom York. Yeah, see, that's why I think most people would just be like, okay, you know, because maybe they grew up with Radiohead or something like that, you know, or whatever other band there is. Because I just think that that's how people, I hate the word normies. We got to come up with a better word for that. We got to come up with a word that doesn't make other people sound, you know, bad. There's got to be a better word we can use. But for lack of a better word right now, normies, right? But yeah, that's exactly it. That, like, you know, I don't know. It's just more complicated than we're making it out to be. And I want to take a person as a whole creature, and know that people can be flawed, you know, and they can have inconsistencies. Offliners, that's a good one. I like offliners. Yeah, I like that. Socially aware isn't bad too. Yeah, and I would have called this person like a fairly socially aware person. Excuse me. I do like offliners, you're right. I'll say that famous people are just as susceptible to propaganda as the rest of us. So what I was kind of going to get at, and I just didn't know if I wanted to open this powder keg. Let me think of how I want to say it, because it's something I'd have to say very delicately. So, let me think about it for a second. It's kind of along the lines of what you're saying, that like they're susceptible to things too. It's kind of more like, but it was a different side of that take. Oh, so here it is. I mean, just because one of the things I've learned, and one of the things I'm kind of thinking is going to be one of my core values, is that just because you agree with someone on a certain point, and let's say that point, that topic is very, very important. It's very important. Like Israel Palestine, like that whole thing, for lack of a better word. Just because you agree with someone on their stance on something like that does not mean that you agree with that person on all their stances, right? That you have to align yourself with everything that they say, you know? And if somebody does say something that you're like, ooh, I like that. That's great. I like that. You still have to be wary about like what people are doing with that information. Does this make any sense? I'm trying to think of an example to give you. If somebody says they're pro-Palestine, which, for the record, free Palestine, right? Absolutely. I have no qualms saying that. But if somebody says that, right, that doesn't necessarily mean that now you guys should just take me at my word and be like, okay, cool, he's one of the good ones. He's said the thing that like we wanted him to say, so now he's one of the good ones. Because then I just feel like that's like virtue signaling of a different degree, right? Where it's like just capitulation. I do have a lot of different nuanced takes on everything that's happening there. Most of which I am not qualified to talk about. So like that's why I don't. But I can be like, absolutely free Palestine. Like absolutely. But it's a very nuanced thing. And just because somebody says those words, myself included, doesn't mean that you should now just like assume certain things about me. Does that make any sense? And feel free to ask me for more examples if it doesn't make sense. I'm trying to be clear about it. You know what I mean? I'm very willing to be wrong about this, but I think Druckmann's stance and understanding has changed a bit. So, oh man, this is a whole conversation I want to have. It may be an off-air conversation. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to get into it. I just think that, yeah, we should be... how do I say this? On the flip side, on the other side of that, I've seen a lot of voices of people saying what's happening there is an atrocity. It's a genocide. It's horrible. And the Israeli government should be held accountable for this. And they should, absolutely. I'm really trying not to get into that. Because again, there's a lot of stuff I don't fully, a lot of stuff about this, the history of all this that I don't fully understand. So the only reason I don't want to talk more about it is only because I don't want to say something out that is wrong, right? So I might reserve my judgment here for what I was about to say here. We're doing stickers now. And honestly, I think more people should do that. I am not a historian. I'm not a, you know, it's not that I don't want to talk about it, Ryan. It's just about, I feel like I have a more nuanced take than than I gotta make sure that these line up. A more nuanced take than what I can express on stream, you know? More people should do Lego stickers. No, should like really put careful thought into like where they stand on things and like who they stand with. But anyway, to kind of go back to the idea of like, just because somebody, here's a much better example. Shoot, I just messed up the sticker. Crap. All right, we're good. We got this. Okay, much better. Wow, look at that, salvaged. Here's a much better example, guys. So what happened to me back in like 2015, 2016 is I almost got radicalized. Oh shoot. I almost went down the alt-right pipeline because I started listening to a couple people. I was always anti-Trump. I was always like, this guy is not it. I was pretty apolitical right before he got elected. I was kind of like, the whole thing's bad. Every side is just as bad as the other. It doesn't really matter who becomes president. It's all a scam. It's all made up. It's all there might have been a little bit of weird conspiratorial thinking in there that I'm like, the nebulous they, that's much better, already know who's going to be president. They've already picked the president, so it doesn't really matter. That's kind of like pre-Trump era where I was at. Like things have already been established, and the powers that be will have who they want as their president, so it hardly matters for us to vote. It was a very centrist kind of anti-establishment, but mostly it's because I didn't understand politics and what was happening in my own country. And I feel guilt about that. I feel bad about that. And I tried to work every day since then to change, because Trump being elected is what really turned my eyes. But so I started listening to some people who were very clearly anti-Trump, and I feel like I got duped. And so I really didn't like Trump. So I was like, well, let me try to figure out like what is going on, because I was so flabbergasted that he got elected. I was like, this is just something isn't happening, because I was like, okay, definitely I was like, Clinton's gonna win 100%. She's like the liberal candidate, and our government's so, I was under the impression that our government was very liberal all the time, and that's very funny in and of itself, I'm aware. But that was my impression of the government. So obviously the liberal candidate would win. Oh, sweet summer child. I've learned so much, guys. I've learned so much. But yeah, anyway. So I started listening to a lot of voices that were anti-Trump. Were like, I don't like this guy. I don't want this guy elected. And then when he got elected, they were like, I don't think he's going to be a good president. I think that this is going to be a bad idea. We should hold him accountable. And those same voices, I think, potentially on purpose and maliciously used the fact that they were never Trumpers to manipulate me into trusting them. And then all of a sudden, oh, well, maybe them calling him racist isn't. I don't like the guy. I didn't vote for him, right? I didn't vote for the guy, but maybe the liberals calling him racist are kind of panicking for nothing right now. They're a little, they're Orange Man Bad. The Orange Man Bad group, right? And then slowly but surely over the years, I'm watching them in real time, not even over the years, in the course of probably a year or two at peak. I'm slowly watching these same people just become Trump Republicans. And it's like, what happened? And I woke up one day and I'm just like, I mean, obviously it didn't happen overnight. Look at the little black hot dogs. Isn't that cool? It didn't happen overnight, but it felt like it. And all of a sudden, it's like, whoa. And you can blame this on my own like illiteracy, media illiteracy, or whatever, and for not seeing what was right in front of me. But I also know for a fact that these people changed. Something changed throughout the first Trump presidency, and they were not the same people that they were when they started. And that's it. That's what happened. That's how I almost, and I say almost because I never really went down that path with them. I kind of watched it happen, and I was like, this feels weird. This feels odd. And then I started hearing other people talk about it, about being like, yeah, I mean, this guy used to be an ever-Trumper, and now all of a sudden he's like the main guy in his camp. And I'm like, this is so odd. Like, I thought that there was this like growing movement of moderates that were like gonna resist him, and they didn't. They all just bent the knee and did the deed, you know? It's just so weird. Let me get caught up on chat here a little bit. Sucking out the venom takes time and intention, but on the same hand, people can and should know better. True. Not me trying to pivot to a lighter topic, getting shrugged off by the streamer. I'm sorry, Lars. I'm getting caught up now. You tried to save me. Thank God that didn't happen. Thank God it didn't. I like to think it's because I was a little bit older when that was happening. I was a little bit older, so that I think that helped. If I had been 5 to 10 years younger, I worry about it. I can tell you some of the names of these people if you really want to know, but it's deeply embarrassing. But I wouldn't lie to you. So if you want to know, I'll tell you. And some of you, I'm sure, will be like, how did you ever get into that circle? And I can tell you how that happened too. I can tell you the whole arc. I know exactly how it happened. I saw a clip of Dave Ramsey talking about people making educational content online, and meanwhile, I've got so much help from random TikTok speaking of economy and whatnot. It's such a double-edged sword, isn't it? Because like I'm kind of becoming of the mindset that like social media is so horrible, but also I've learned so much. I've learned so much about things. I've learned so much about the world, about how my own brain is working, that I'm like, I don't know if we should get rid of it, you know? I think it's just I need to do better at managing my own time. I'm an adult. I should be able to do that, you know? Dave Ramsey can kick rocks. He sure can. I returned. I survived the cat apocalypse. I hope everything went well. No scars. I hope. I bet you were a big Canadian Kermit the Frog guy. It is my deepest shame. It is my deepest shame because I want you to know where I was in my life at the time. And I've always meant to talk about this, but I never really have. I never really have talked about it to this degree. It is my greatest shame that this is also a moment in time where I was really rethinking my religion a lot too. Since about 2013 to 2014, I was very critical of my own religion, silently in the back of my mind for a long time. And so along comes a guy who also was anti-Trump, who also, according to him, was anti-Trump, and talked a lot about like looking at religion in sort of a different way, which I was kind of looking for at the time. And I hate to admit this, but I listened to my fair share of Jordan Peterson lectures. And most of that was from exposure from the Joe Rogan podcast. Oh, do you want to know the full? I can give you the full timeline of what happened. The full timeline. I am greatly ashamed of this now. It was insidious. I really do think that while I do bear a lot of the brunt and responsibility of that, of platforming that man for as long as I did, I like. All you had to say, it started with Joe Rogan. So not really. I have a funny story about where it really started. So it all started with this thing called SourceFed. I don't know if you all remember that. It actually back up. Philip DeFranco is where it started. And now don't get me wrong, I still to this day, and I like Philip DeFranco. I like what he does with the news, okay? I like that. I like how he brings the news. I hate to say a fan because I know somebody's going to be like, oh no. But like Philip DeFranco is not the reason why, but he was the one who got me more interested in like the news, right? Like I was like watching him like talk about current events and going like, oh, now that I'm paying attention, I'm starting to understand. Philip DeFranco went on the Joe Rogan podcast back in the day. A lot of people did. You watch Philly D every day. Heck yeah. I don't watch him daily now, but like occasionally if he pops up, I watch him. But mostly again, for news, just for like what's currently going on. And that's about it. But he went on Joe Rogan's podcast, which is weird to think about those worlds. And so that's exposed me to this. And it was like a 3-hour long conversation. And it just hit at the right time where I'm like, ooh, this is nice. Like a long conversation where people are really like talking things out. Like this is interesting. So then I watched the next episode of Joe Rogan, which who knows who it was. I don't know. Steven Ranella. I don't know. Some hunting guy. And I was like, oh, this is interesting. Oh, they're talking about MMA. I'm not really into that, but like I like the respect that they're talking about this sport. It's clear they have passion for it. Like that's kind of neat. They're having these deep conversations. They're going, and don't ever forget, guys. At the time, Joe Rogan was a liberal. Joe Rogan was 100% a liberal. So like in my mind, I was already moving away from the right. In my own mind, I was like a never Trump guy, right? And even Joe Rogan didn't like Trump too. So he was also insidious, and he sold himself out for money as well. Anyway, so that's how I got into the Joe Rogan like sphere, and that's how you get into the Jordan Peterson sphere, and that's how you get into the Ben Shapiro sphere, and that's how you get into the Dave Rubin sphere, and that's how you get into the Daily Wire sphere, and that's how you get into what's the company that owns the Daily Wire? What's the guy? He's an Israeli guy. Who I'm pretty sure if we were going to call anybody a Zionist, which I don't throw that word around lightly because I'm worried that we're using that now as a new slur. But if I had to call anybody that, what's that guy's name? Spooky, you probably know who I'm talking about. He owns what is it? What was it called? Dennis Prager. Prager University. PragerU. So I don't throw around the Zionist thing a lot, but if anybody was devout. Anyway, okay, that was a lot. I'm sorry. You love that Jordan Peterson always sounds on the verge of tears while dressing like the Mad Hatter. Very alpha. I remember my ex telling me to listen to a Jordan Peterson interview, and I couldn't get through the first 10 to 15 minutes of it because on my sociology, history, and theology, he got wrong. And then I ranted to the ex, and I think he might have gone off him. He might have gone off him. You got him to get off of Jordan Peterson. That's pretty interesting. Yeah, so think about where I was in my life, where like I didn't have a great education. I went to a Christian college for 2 years and dropped out. I didn't learn anything there. Like, so I'm hearing some guy talk with like what seems like he's smart. It seems like he knows what he's talking about. Is SourceFed the one that had Maud, Garrett, and Sam? Yes, there was SourceFed. There was SourceFed Nerd. I had a SourceFed poster. I was such a big fan of that channel. So it was so great. And then they spun off and did SourceFed Nerd. They did a couple other different things, but yeah. Jordan Peterson suits are often made by an Estonian company. Really? I didn't like Joe Rogan before he turned into the poop show he is now. It's not that I liked Joe Rogan. What I liked was the 3-hour-long podcast about people talking about interesting things. That's really what I liked, but that is what inevitably got me in trouble, PragerU, more like PragerBoo. Yeah. That guy and that, but that's the whole pipeline, right? You saw it all like laid right out. It gets you all the way down to like PragerU, and then at that point it's like, whoa. excuse me. I got my ex out of voting alt-right and all that. I basically rehabilitated that man. Bless you. Bless you. Sam Basher was a cutie. Yeah, I could see that. Great cast. Yeah. A great channel. Like, really sad how all that went down. It was like because they sold to another company and that company kind of went under and everything just kind of fell apart. It was all pretty sad, but bless you for getting your ex out of that. But it, like, mind you, all this time I'm listening to this stuff, I'm not technically like believing any of it. But one day I kind of wake up and I think what it was is I started seeing then like anti Jordan Peterson content. And I started seeing people like point out when he was wrong. And I think that's the most important thing to do. I think that's the most important thing was like, oh, so he's lying. Oh, so this is a lie. Oh, so this is provably false here. Oh, this is what he's trying to do. He's trying to manipulate you here and do this there and do all this kind of stuff here to make it seem like he's on your side, but really this is what he means, you know? And let's be real. I mean, Jordan Peterson got famous because of his big anti-trans stance, right? Wasn't that the whole reason why he even popped into the scene, right? Was because he was mad at having to use pronouns or something, right? Something like that. At the college he taught at, I don't know. Anyway, I need to go get poop from the wash. I'm so glad that I'm able to say this to you guys, and I'm met with like, oh, okay, like, I'm glad. I should be judged for it. I am responsible for it. But like, I think there were a lot of factors played into what was going on there with me specifically, that I feel like I've grown out of for sure. And I keep saying I've grown out of, like, I was admittedly older than you would think somebody who would get pipelined would be. But like, I had such a false start in life where I didn't really get to form my own opinions on anything until I finally left college. And I went to college late. I went to college later than most people do. And I finally got to sit back and look at things and go, oh. And that's really, if you want to say, that's really where my like religious deconstruction stuff kind of started happening, you know? Unfortunate. Shame isn't productive. True. Oh, I am not a fan of the Catholic Church in general. While I like that there's a pope that isn't full on, an American pope, by the way, that isn't full on pro-Trump. I'm not a fan of the Catholic Church in general. I'm distinctly not a fan. But also, you know, if you are a part of that and you are using your influence to make things better, then I'm with you, you know. Persephone, how's it going? None, you aren't the problem because you're capable of growth and admitting. Yeah, I try to do that. We had a very similar journey, very much emphasized with your experiences. That's so interesting. I think there's a lot of people who probably had a similar journey. It was very much the thing for 2015, 16, 17, and a little bit of 2018. And then I think that's kind of where I started leaving everything off. And then definitely like COVID actually was like the funniest thing in the world to me, guys, is when COVID hit. I was already kind of starting to like not listen to Joe Rogan anymore, mainly because, oh, look at this. Look at how cool this is. Look at his little body. Anyway, I started to not listen to Joe Rogan anymore because I was starting to get a little hesitant about like some of his stuff. But when COVID first hit, when early on, Joseph Rogan was one of the first voices to panic about COVID. And when I say panic. You need to go back and watch if you didn't see it already. It was probably in like January or February of 2020. We had a virologist on, and this guy was telling him this is going to be bad. Like, we had already been hearing things about this, you know, COVID-19 thing. And he was like, this is going to be bad. Like, a lot of people are going to have a hard time, you know, and like people are going to die. And he was concerned, and he was telling people we need to take this seriously. And like, there's things we can do to stop the spread. And this doctor was basically telling him all the things we can do to try to slow this thing down. And he was in agreement. So if you don't want to tell me that that man is just a shill, I don't know who else would be. And that is the moment where, like, when COVID did hit then, and then he started talking about how, like, oh, it's not a big deal. Why are you wearing masks? That's silly. And I'm like, I'm sorry, dude. You were the one who made me scared about this in the beginning. Like, you were the one who made me take it. I took it seriously because, like, I believe this virologist that you had on. And now all of a sudden you make this 180 turn. And that was when I truly, at the end of all of that, like, I had already dropped Jordan Peterson. I had already dropped Ben Shapiro. I'd already dropped Dave Rubin by that point. But like, I would still listen to Joe Rogan's podcast because of the guests he would have on. And he'd have Bernie Sanders on. Like, the man said at one point he would vote for Bernie Sanders. And I'm like, I would too. So, like, you know, he's just he's wildly inconsistent is the problem. Made a huge mistake giving the Fear Factor guy unlimited influence, and all he did was just let people talk. That's all he did, is just let people talk. It's that wild. It's wild. It's wild. All right, these are some extra pieces here, guys. This is my favorite thing to do, by the way, is to talk about stuff while we build Lego. I hope you didn't come here too much for the Lego content. This is usually what happens, is we start kind of diverging off into other topics, and I love it. It's my favorite part. So let's keep going. It's the only time I'd say I was on the same page as him. I mean, I was like, wow. I remember even telling my wife at the time, like, oh yeah, like, you know, he had on this virologist, and like, this, you know, this is seeming pretty serious. Like, I'm pretty worried about this, you know. And now fast forward, and he laughs at people for wearing masks and taking COVID, and like, what are we doing, man? Like, he's a grifter through and through. He moved to Texas and he got brain rotted immediately. He might have been brain rotted before that, but that definitely sealed the brain rot for him. But yeah, the man who said before he would vote for Bernie Sanders is like a very proud Trump supporter. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, did you watch Rhett's long interview about deconstruction? Oh yes, I have actually followed his whole thing for a long time too. But yeah, I could probably do my own. Mine is so intrinsically linked with like my political awakening as well, that like you kind of have to do both of those hand in hand, I think, because they do go hand in hand, as they should, because our politics are about our core beliefs and our core values, right? And when my core values were so messed up, it makes sense that both of those would kind of fall apart at the same time, right? If they don't, I'd be concerned. If they didn't fall apart at the same time, I'd be like, weird, you know? If I'm like, you know what, I believe that this Jesus guy really wanted us to feed the poor and house the unhoused and love everybody and not judge anyone, but also I vote for Donald Trump. I'm like, whoa, like, you can't claim those two things, but apparently that is what we're doing now. Those two things are so polar opposite what this candidate is, that it still to this day boggles my mind that there's people who I respect and who call themselves followers of Jesus that I'm like, I don't know what is happening. What I suspect is happening, guys, is exactly the same thing that happened to me. I suspect that there's a big group of people who are like that, who I do genuinely believe are good people, who do love their religion and their Jesus, their form of him, but they become so brain rotted by online content that's telling them it's okay to vote for Donald Trump, that they're lost to it in a similar way that I almost did, you know? So like, it's hard for me to be like, I'm empathetic towards them because of, like, I see what's happening, but I don't know how to break them out of it. Because if I'm being honest with you guys, nothing really broke me out of it. No one person like told me otherwise. The only thing that kind of snapped me out of it was like realizing what people's intentions were and realizing that what they were saying and doing does not align with what I believe are my core values. And then once I did that, it was easy to be like, oh, this is not for me. This is not for me. Like, I was never an alt-right guy fully. You'll never find anything on social media of me going around and saying like anything bad about trans people. I had my thoughts, but like, I'm very thankful that I always had more nuanced takes, and you won't find me saying bad things about gay people. You won't find me, there's none of that. I didn't have to scrub the internet clean because I was just never that kind of guy. And it turns out that's who I was all along. I was never the kind of person that they were trying to turn me into. And thankfully I was able to like pull out of that. But if you don't pull out of that, if you don't want to pull out of that, no one pulled me out. No one saved me. So like, I don't feel like I'm qualified to save anybody else. As much as my savior complex wants me to, I have to just keep my wits about myself and make sure that I'm not following into the same trap. You know? I'm playing a game that's kind of a tribute or homage to Power Rangers or other shows. I'm fighting a giant iPad monster right now. That's cool. What's up, Red? How you doing? You're a huge Alex O'Connor fan. I've watched some Alex O'Connor stuff. I wouldn't say I'm an Alex O'Connor fan. He's a little more atheist than I am. I am not an atheist. I'm a agnostic Christian. I'm a practicing agnostic Christian, I guess you could say. But I also don't like labels. So, you know, there's that. I really like the style from him. I prefer the discovery conversations and softer angle as opposed to the sport of debate. Absolutely. I thought Alex made some really great distinctions around it. My first thing I'd seen from him. That's your first thing? I had seen stuff from him before, which is probably why I was aware of that interview before you guys mentioned it to me, but I hadn't watched it yet. So, but yeah. Being humble about stuff is so important. The last thing I like is an edgy atheist. There's no more turnoff than a devout evangelical Christian than an evangelical atheist. They're both off-putting to me in their own ways, even if I agree with them in certain aspects, you know. Corey and I are thinking of making an org here locally for non-religious or deconstructing folks. That would be amazing. Like, even though I personally go to church right now, it's kind of because I miss that community aspect of the whole thing, and I'm keeping my skepticism. I've even told the pastor this. I was like, I cannot look at my faith the same way as I used to, or I fear like what path that will take me down. But I do think there's something to the community around people who are actually trying to live out what Jesus said to do. And I think they're actively making the world a better place when they do that. And I know I said this before, but I go to a Methodist church now, which is a lot more, I don't know if you know anything about the Methodists, but especially in the one I'm going to, a lot more open to the questioning doubters than any church I've ever been in before. And I have felt like myself there for probably the first time I've ever gone to church where I felt like myself and I wasn't constantly pushing things down. You should hear some of the things I bring up in Sunday school. You should hear some of that. Sometimes Ashley has to tap me on the shoulder and be like, don't do it. Don't do it. And I'm like, anyway. Except about you, I never said anything bad about you. Remember when Donald T denied having anything to do with Project 2025? Exactly. He's enacted 100 out of 300 of the points and around 60 is in progress. Yet he's a liar. He is an actual liar. As, yes, I know a lot of political people are, but he's halfway there. I knew he was a liar, you know? If I'm being honest with myself, I'm still parsing through a lot of what I truly believe in. Same. Which is where I emphasize with being nuanced to a fault. I find the current political social environment very challenging when trying to determine truth. Ryan, I'm so with you. That is me for sure. That is like, yeah, I am finding this to be a very challenging environment as well, because there's some things I truly believe in. I truly believe you shouldn't be genociding innocent people, especially kids. Like, that's horrendous and horrible. And I could not imagine the Jesus that I learned in the Bible would never. Old Testament maybe. But Jesus specifically as an individual, as a person, I can't wrap my mind around that, you know? At the same time, I'm very cautious of like the rising anti-Semitism that is around the world, that is deeply concerning to me as well. Not as much concerning as a genocide, but still a concern. So it's very hard for me to like parse through this world of like, where everybody wants you to basically take a side. And it's like, I'm with you. I swear. However, can we be nuanced for a second? And then, yeah, it's hard. So I'm with you. It's really hard. I have a great book for you to read on if you haven't yet. I would love to hear about it. It's so needed for deconstructed individuals. When people leave church, they lose a community they're used to and typically don't have a replacement for that. It's absolutely right. It's kind of why we started searching for something a little more progressive. And I'm not telling everybody that they need to go be Methodist. Absolutely not. You need to have your own personal journey in this thing. But the community that we didn't have here in Texas was really hard. Yeah. I'm an atheist myself, but I don't care about what others believe as long as I can live my own life in peace. Absolutely. And I would fight for your right to live in a nation where you don't have to worship any God at all. Absolutely. That's what freedom of religion is, you know? I've even been in a relationship with a Christian for 8 years. We agreed to disagree about religion, and that was that. 8 years. That's pretty impressive. I would not be surprised to see that, Lars. It's really weird because also there's a lot of anti-Semitism from that same crowd. But also, yes, like, I mean, every church I was ever in was clearly Zionist because they believed in like the fact that Jesus was going to return. So they wanted all of the Jewish people to go back and settle Israel. We celebrated a lot when gosh, what happened back in like there was something that happened like when was Israel recognized as like a state? Did that happen in my lifetime, or am I hallucinating that? It might have not happened in my lifetime. But churches would have celebrated that because they're like, this is it. This is all heralding the return of Jesus. So like they're sort of like by default Zionist, even though I don't think if you ask them that, they'd probably be like, what are you talking? I don't know what that means. Like, what does that mean? You know? But I think by nature of them believing in like the rapture and the second coming kind of makes them that. But also, that's not what like at least our Methodist church believes. Like they don't even take the Bible literally, which is to me would have been like a great sin growing up, is like, we're not taking the Bible literally. Like, wait, what? And so when you look at things through that lens, well, I'm sure that there's some people who probably are sympathetic to Israel's cause or whatever you want to call it. I would hesitate to say that any of them would be not Israel's cause. That sounded bad. The plight of Jewish people throughout the years. Let's say that. I'm really glad the Methodist so far it's been pretty good. I think it's been good for us. You know, I don't know. We'll see. It's been pretty good. I've only recently started talking about it out loud because for a long time I was like, I'm not even going to talk about it because I don't know if I'm going to be here in a month. And now it's been about a year and I'm like, oh, okay. But yeah, just the community aspect. And I told her, like, I'm going to take my faith a lot more practical. I'm much more interested in like the practicality of taking care of each other and building a community and being kind to each other and trying to learn this great mystery together than I am in like, so do we think that baptism actually, I don't care. Practically, what are we doing? Are we actually living out the tenets that we say that we have? Are we just pretending? because I just don't want to pretend anymore, you know? If we truly believe that these are our core values, to like care for people and care about what's happening in the world and truly help people, then that's what I want to do, you know? I told you about Chris Stedman's. You did tell me about that. You did tell me about that. I got to dip soon, but want to know if you have any sort of schedule? Yes. So I am live at 6 a.m. Central Standard Time every day but Sunday. 6 a.m. to Saturday is 6 to 9. The rest of the week is the pre-work coffee hour. So I'm live for about an hour and a half. It's like clockwork. I love it. I'm on a schedule and I'm a creature of habit. So I stick to it, you know? It's pretty great. So yeah, I hope to see you. I hope to see you around some more if you want. During the week, we play games. We're playing through Mass Effect Andromeda right now. So a little more, we still try to have some conversations, but these Lego streams, the conversation does tend to get a little heavy. So bring it to LutzCon, that'd be cool. And inform my approach a lot towards humanism, away from being a cringy, more self-superior atheist. Exactly. Yeah. And like, honestly, and I would tell this to my pastor's face. I would tell her, I really don't know what I believe fully, but I also don't know if it matters as much anymore. Like, kind of even to the point where, like, what Rhett was talking about, where it's like we're all just kind of searching for answers in our own way. And I care far more about what people do than about what people say and about what specific beliefs. I even told her, I was like, I don't care about being right anymore. I just don't care anymore. You know, I don't need to be right. I don't need to have the right theology on everything. I just need to like have community and live my life the way that aligns with my values, you know? Yeah. Thank you, AMS, for the schedule post. I appreciate that. You got to it before I did. I do get that impression as well, Spooky, about Ryan. Have a great day. Good to see you. Yeah. Anyway. The one thing I will never do to you guys is I'll never pretend like I have it all figured out, and I will never. I am not an evangelical anything. I abhor the terminology, in fact. I believe that everybody has their own path. I believe that everybody has to try to find, if this God person is real, I believe that he has to have a way to like connect with people in a way that is gonna reach them. And that could be many different ways. I'm not like a big, like, all paths lead to the proper way kind of guy, but I am a little bit of that guy. I'm not fully a Baha'i faith guy, but like I'm a little bit of a Baha'i faith guy. Do you guys know Baha'i? It's Rainn Wilson's thing. It's Rainn Wilson's, not his thing. It's been around for a long time, but it's his quote unquote religion that he practices as well. Let's see. Okay, now we're flipping over to the other side. We've just been casually building a chopper leg here while we're chatting. And I love it. I love to lose myself in the process. My limited understanding of Baha'i is that it kind of slaps. I think so too, but I'm hesitant. You know why? Because it has certain vibes to it that give off culty vibes to me. Or the potentiality for someone to co-opt it, which I guess anything could, right? Even Methodists could. That could happen to Methodists too. So, yes, exactly. The dark underbellies of those offshoot religions. Exactly. Yeah, that's why I'm a little hesitant. I heard him talk about it. I kind of looked into it a little bit. I was like, okay, well, that's interesting. But I'm like, I'm not going to hitch my horse to that rodeo, you know? Not right now. Because if he's right about it, then it kind of doesn't matter whether or not you're a Baha'i or you believe that at all. Because what he believes is that, like, basically all paths lead to a better understanding of the divinity that is God, right? So it like in a weird way doesn't matter what you believe. So then I was like, okay, cool. So I don't really have to listen to you then. And I think he would agree with that. He'd be like, sure, go for it, you know? You remember a library aide at my high school was Baha'i in a weird way. I'd never heard of it before. Like, I think I've heard of the general idea of like all paths lead to the same God, but I'd never heard what Baha'i was before I heard about Rainn Wilson. And apparently his parents were Baha'i too, so I don't think it's something he like fell into. I think it's something he's been for a while. What was the weird way? But that's just the problem with like religions in general. They really can be taken to an extreme, which is why you and everybody else and myself, we gotta hold these things a lot looser than we ever have before, because it's a concern of mine that it becomes a monster again, you know? Definitely don't want that. Anyway, well, this has been fun. This has been great. It's only 8 o'clock though. We still technically have a little ways to go. I feel like I got a lot off my chest. I have been greatly impressed with the United Methodist side of things. At least I know there's gonna be some variance across different denominations or different groups, but like at least in the sect that I've fallen under, very like, I mean, my pastor like quotes some of the deconstruction people that I listened to during that phase of my life, and like she'll quote those people from a pulpit, like from the stage, right? And like that was like eye-opening to me too, because I'm like, you know, it makes me wonder what I was deconstructing. I think I was deconstructing evangelical white supremacist what is it called? Christian supremacy, like, what is the term? I'm blanking on the term. Hold on, let me find it. Christian nationalism. There we go. I feel like at the end of the day, that's kind of what I was deconstructing, and I almost threw out the whole thing along with it until I realized there are people out there who are fighting the fight of like, no, we're not gonna let our own religion be like co-opted and taken away by essentially radicals, right? Like we're not gonna secede our entire religion to these people, even though it's very tempting to do so. Yeah, Christian nationalism. Yeah. It was there. The word was there somewhere. I just had to find it, which I'm doing a lot more of lately. I could not remember the word Brussels sprouts the other day, and I had a mini panic attack about how my brain is not working great. And here I just remembered it like that, right? So I know it's up there. I'm not stupid. It's just like my memory recall is getting kind of scary. Real scary. Recently, I've been going to bat for God in Koro's behalf since she's been struggling understanding where her faith is and what's a weird spot for me to be in. Man, I feel for her so I completely understand where she's going, where she is right now. I've been there. I'm kind of like, I would say I'm like on the other side of that. A little bit, but I still have a lot of stuff to figure out, you know? Okay, this one's gonna be interesting because this has got to line up. Let's get in some detail, shall we? This part has got to line up with that down there, so I'm gonna put this in first. Trying to line up that line right there. Ah, don't move. Well, what you can find is that like you can go to bat for like a concept of a creator or even of a religious or like a spiritual aspect, and still tearing down the things about religion that are toxic, because there's a lot, you know. What are you growing? I've softened on my own personal beliefs and now approach the wider universe of possibility of the divine as an unarrogant agnostic. Yes. I can't pretend to know anything about with sureness, and I liked Red's talk of God is the blanket we throw over that what we don't understand. Absolutely. And the thing that has surprised me, the thing that surprised me the most is that it is almost not as eloquently. It's almost what I told our pastor when we were talking about like joining the church and like sticking around. I was like, I don't know what I believe anymore. I feel like I'm kind of agnostic about a lot of stuff, but like, is this a safe place for me to like, let's say I never change. Let's say I never come to any deeper understanding of that. Like, am I like, is this a welcome place? And they have proven time and time again that that's the case. And by me being open to that, I've also come to soften a little bit on like, you know, okay, what was it truly about religion and the church that I had a problem with? And it's made me really confront a lot of that. And a lot of it is hypocrisy. A lot of it is just you're not doing what you tell me from the pulpit you're doing. You're hurting people. You're abusing people. Anything to do with kids is like a giant no-no, like deal breaker, right? But all this was happening in the churches that I grew up in, and I'm just like, I was so sick of it. But I'm beginning to realize how much I had a problem with the people, and not necessarily with, you know, the Jesus that we said that we followed. And now that I have a different understanding of the Bible as well, where it's like, I don't take it literally, number one, nor do I think anyone in Christian tradition did take it literally before like the last, I don't know, 100 years. And then realizing that, like, you know, how the Bible was created, and it's just a messy collection of stories that people told each other by the campfire. And like, they probably didn't happen the way that they are saying it happened, but it has a deeper truth to tell us, as something else is trying to tell us, not the literal thing that happened. You know, once you start looking at it that way, it's like, oh man. Oh, you're growing Brussels sprouts. That's your new veggie. That's cool. Yeah. We're going to try to like air fry some of those this week. I love a good crispy Brussels sprout. LutzCon is going to be important this year. Lots of real talks on the kitchen floor are going to happen. Dude, I'm not going to Gen Con, so like, I'm going to have some time on my hands. Or at least I might go like one day. I don't know. We haven't fully decided that yet. It's already expensive, so I'm trying to, whoa, hey, hang on. Bebo, whoa. Ams didn't see that. She didn't. I did not do that. That was 100% B. I just deleted it, but I would never tell you to shut up. That's a bad word in our house. You can't say that. Zeke's gonna come break my door down and be like, you can't say shut up. Like, you're so right. How did he know? I don't know. His timing sometimes is eerie. I swear I had nothing to do with that. Okay, Bebo, shut up, Ams. Lol. That's funny. That's funny. Anyway, what was I saying? I don't remember. Oh yeah, so like, yeah, we're gonna have some time. We're gonna have some time at LutzCon for sure. For sure. It's gonna be wonderful. You want to screenshot that? I can do it if you want. Here, actually, I think if I go through, shoot, it's deleted in here too. Yeah, the problem is it's like deleted in all the systems, but here I can, there you go. Okay, hold on. Go into mod chat. Here you go. I mean, it'll look like it's deleted still, but it kind of is funnier that way, I think. I feel like it's kind of funnier that way. Let me get off mod chat just in case I show my Discord stream again. There we go. Okay. Ams, don't lose power either. Don't lose power either. You better not. Anyway, anywho. You read wet pants? Well, Funny you should say that. Funny you should say that. Ams happens to wet her plants on the daily. When I was a kid, our whole backyard was for plants. We gotta have some more plants in our backyard. We gotta get some of those like mosquito killing ones, and maybe some bird feeders, right? To eat the bugs. Look at the shirt that Ams posted in the picture section of Discord. I can't believe I'm sitting on the couch wearing scrubs like Stolen Valor and talking about God in a Lego stream. Welcome to twitch.tv/Nonder. I could not have said it better myself. That's gotta go in my highlight trailer. Like that's what we do. That's what we do here. That's who we are. It's what we do. That honestly makes me so proud, because that's the stuff right there, you know? That's the stuff. That's it right there. Bird bath. That's why I said bird bath. Yep. Basically, our whole backyard was plowed. Well, was like a whole backyard was like a whole plowed garden or growing area. That's pretty cool. Did you guys grow food, or like what did you grow out there other than just everything? A little bit of this, a little bit of that. Peas, beans, carrots, etc. Nice. Oh, beets. Beans and beets. Yeah. I get that, totally. Grew up on veggies then though, right? Had a lot of veggies in your diet? Nah? You grew them, but you didn't eat them? You're like, these are gross, no thanks. Oh, that's true. You probably had an issue with the veggies, huh? I do think that that's a thing, huh? For some. Different for everybody. Exceptional. Hubby got that shirt for me last year when I started my garden. I love that. You know what? Sometimes Mark's humor, sorry, I didn't mean to dox your husband's name. Sometimes his humor hits. And I feel like I understand him more as a human being, you know? Sometimes I'm like, I see you. I see you. I know you're just like one more year away from joining the Lego streams to tell me dad jokes. It's gonna happen. There it is. Only sometimes. I feel like there's like little flashes of his brilliance in there, you know, and he just needs to embrace it. And like, yeah, sometimes it might be cringe, but overall, like, I think you'll be happier if you do, you know. My main issue is getting grass in the backyard again. Yeah. Is that just because it's hard for it to grow there, or like did the previous homeowners just not have, or does it die out every year in the wintertime? Maybe that's a pretty common thing where you are. I'm gonna put one on each side here. We were grocery shopping Thursday. We had to pick a pack of hot dogs, and he goes, "Want to touch my wiener?" And an old lady looked at him and said, and I said, "At least you made yourself laugh." Did she like look at him like, ew? Ask me about my wiener? Yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh shoot. I think I was supposed to do one more. I got to go back up in the instructions, gang. Shoot. I think this is supposed to have one more on here. Yes, there's supposed to be two. My apologies. My apologia. Our lawn is just effed up with the grass. All the grass has been torn and trotted up before we even bought the place. There's good grass that can survive here. It's just getting it established. I get you. Mrs. Nonder, hello. Welcome. Good morning. Is the kiddo awake yet, or is it just you? Holy cow, who's this? Fro, this is our third raid of the morning. Holy cow, everybody. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Fro, how the heck are you? What were you up to today? Split Fiction. Who were you playing Split Fiction with? You playing it with like the wettest of orbs, maybe? Because I think that's like a co-op game, right? Twice in a row, baby. Let's go. Thank you guys so much. For those of you who don't know me, I think you probably do at this point, but hi, I'm Nonder, semi-variety streamer, and we're currently building Lego on Saturdays. And during the week, we're playing Mass Effect Andromeda. Playing with your brother, that's even better. A Fro Bro Night, that's so great. I think that's probably the best game to play with like a relative or somebody close like that. You know? No reason to apologize, you're all good. You can make it a race, whoever gets to it. It's just you, the dog woke you up. Sorry, that dog. It is Mother's Day tomorrow. I think we're ready. I think we're ready for tomorrow. I guess that means she's gonna get a long nap tomorrow. Right? Got a dip so I can make dinner. Chrissy, thank you so much for being here. Have a great day. We can get back at each other in puzzles. Oh, I bet that's great. Do you have some clippable moments? I might have to check that out. I've been wanting to play that. I want to play it with Ashley, with Mrs. Nonder here. She has gotten into video games. I would say semi recently, right? So, but that one's a very video game. So, hello. What's up, dude?
What, guys?
Guess what, guys? He says. Okay, here.
I got a new toy.
You got a new toy. What is it?
Are you ready?
I think we're ready.
It's count 3, 2, 1.
Look at this boat.
Welcome to the Titanic, everybody.
This is the Titanic.
I got it yesterday.
Uh-huh.
I said it'll be here 2 days. I was like taking a bath, but I got in 2 days and bam, here it is.
Bam, here it is. He is so proud. I'm building Chopper. Chopper from Rebels. He is so proud of this toy.
Hey,
It's a bath toy. That is Minecraft, yep.
What's the deal?
It's got like mods and stuff on it. Yeah.
It's
What?
a different Minecraft, but this time you should find Storybook on Minecraft on your TV, and you can click it,
Oh, story mode?
and then it'll be like a guy, and
Uh-huh.
the other guy will like, don't do it, so it makes the weather,
The Wither Storm.
and
Yeah.
then it starts like shooting everything with the worst goals,
Yeah.
and then it starts getting bigger,
Yeah.
and sucking up things like the
Mhm.
laser, but it can still, even though if it's still the worst storm though, it
Mhm.
still shoot out worst goals, but sucking up stuff is way better.
It is.
But
Cool.
yeah.
Thanks for showing us your Titanic.
Yep.
Am says that her kids love the Wither Storm too.
I love the worst storm too.
He still talks about the Wither Storm. Even though he doesn't watch YouTube anymore. We still talk. We listened to the Wither Storm song yesterday, didn't we?
Yeah, they have long ones on YouTube, and they have short ones on Spotify. So
Yep.
we listen to those on the way to YouTube. We listen to Spotify, and then after we're back home, we listen to the long one while we're driving back home. But
Yep. Do you want to sing the Wither Storm song for everybody?
maybe next stream.
Maybe next stream. Okay. I'll hold you to that. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do, though.
Oh, guess what, Daddy?
What?
You know, by the way.
What?
The Band-Aids that you pawned, the two Band-Aids,
Yeah.
the two big ones. I peel off the really big one.
Why did you do that?
It was just, I was just checking, and
You were just
it
checking.
just got a little bit of blood, and
Oh, did it?
yeah.
Oh no. Well, you
just
gotta
a
leave.
li-
Sorry, go ahead.
Like
Go ahead.
this many blood, like
Just a little. That's why we gotta leave it on so that it doesn't get infected.
No, it was good blood.
It was good. It was good blood. Okay.
Yeah,
All
it
right.
didn't really bleed that much.
Um.
And then I peeled off the bottom one, and that's way better than the big one.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Love you. I'll be done in a little while.
Oh, baby. You made a mistake.
Hey, be gentle to Bitta.
Okay, I love you.
Love you. Did I do this right? I didn't do this right. Sorry. Let me switch back. Yeah. So, yeah, he has become recently obsessed with the Titanic. Ashley, how did that start? How did he first hear about the Titanic? Do you know? But he's become just, and he knows, like we've talked about, we talked about how it was a tragedy and a lot of people didn't make it, and it's very sad. He knows about all that. Every boy finds a maritime disaster to obsess over, I guess so. And we've been talking about getting him new like bath toys, and I just happened to find a Titanic bath toy, and I was like, there was one that also had a toy iceberg with it, and I was like, I feel like that's a little like he's gonna pretend that it's gonna sink anyway. But like I felt like including the iceberg, and also one of them broke apart too, and it was like a pool toy, and I was like, you know what, let's just get like a basic looking boat that's still the Titanic, you know. If he was Canadian, he'd be all about the Halifax disaster. Yeah, a Titanic bath bomb. Yeah, so he's gonna take his first bath with it tonight, and he's so excited. But he's needed like better bath toys for a while anywhere. But if it was a billionaire, it'd be Ocean Gate. Yeah, he finds out details about stuff that he doesn't watch YouTube anymore. But like you tell him something or he hears something, and this kid just remembers it. You know? Like he remembers everything. Every little thing. And he just memorizes like facts about it. There is a Titanic movie that was like, okay, yeah, there was a Titanic on Trailmakers, which is a game that he plays. It's kind of like a mix of like Minecraft and maybe not Minecraft, it's like a voxel building game. And he really likes it because he can like basically download a whole bunch of like different ships and whatnot and fly around in them. And so one of them, he just happened to get this boat because this new update was all about like boats, and it said it was a Titanic. And yeah, there was a Titanic on Trailmakers. I told him what happened, and then he was obsessed. We watched documentaries and everything. I remember I came in one day, and he's cuddled up with her on her. Actually, was it that one night he was sick? He was cuddled up with you on your chair, and you were both watching a Titanic documentary. Yeah, and I was just like, this is hilarious. Yeah, I mean, and there's one thing we try to do is like be, you know, honest with him about like, you know, bad things can happen, and it's very unfortunate. And he never really gets too hooked on like the bad thing, like, you know, he always says like it was very sad, you know, but like it's almost like he gets into the, gosh, how would you say this? He gets into the like the semantics of how it happened, right? Like how did that happen? What happened to that boat? Well, it hit an iceberg. What's an iceberg? Well, an iceberg is like this giant floating piece of ice, kind of like an ice cube. Oh, where did it come? The lore. That's such a great, yeah, where did the iceberg come from? And then he'll be like, maybe the iceberg, and he'll like come up with his own theories and stuff like on the fly. It's the way his brain works is just so fascinating. So yeah, I was like, I'm not gonna get the one that has the ice in it. I don't know, that felt That felt like a bridge too far. It is a tragedy. It was a long time ago. But like, you know, yeah. This is cool. Look at those little pipes. But yeah. How is Rey a Skywalker? All right, Zeke, time for bed. Don't start questioning Star Wars or yeah. He's into the lore. He is. That is true. He's such a cute kid though. He was so excited. Just thought, have you got him tested for ADHD? He's a little young. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. If that's the case, but like, I think he's probably a little young to have that be a concern yet. But yeah, I wouldn't be shocked to find that out. Would not be shocked. I just don't know if there's a reason for us to test him on it yet. You know? Yeah, I think a lot of that is just the wonder of being a kid, of learning everything and getting obsessed about things, and you know, having hyperfixations, and you know, nothing wrong with that. Yeah, everything's just magical. Everything is interesting to him. Like, there isn't any topic that he would not be like interested in learning more about. He's a sponge. Just everything you tell him just absorbs into his brain. It's honestly kind of scary. If you think about it that way, it's kind of scary how pliable kids are, and how we need to be very careful about how we raise our kids, you know? Let's see. Boop. All right. Look at that. Isn't that cool? That's his little leg. I don't think I'm going to finish this today. I kind of thought maybe I would, but I'm only on the first leg. And then there's the head. And then there's still like a wheel on the bottom as well. Except for video games. Consume all, little one. We don't let him go consume all on video games. He does play video games. There's a lot of times where he has to earn his video game time. He has to do his schoolwork first. Yeah, I don't know. I wish you could see this kid play video games, though. He is one of the most active video game players I think I've ever seen. He jumps around, he stands up, he runs around, he laughs, he giggles, he makes very loud noises. He's very active when he plays video games. He's very smart with them too. I think some of that has helped his, like, you know, critical thinking skills. There can definitely be too much, for sure. Definitely be too much. Funny you mentioned that. LG spent yesterday throwing up, thinking food poisoning. I'm good though. Ooh, food poisoning. That sucks. That sucks. Mm-hmm. 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 Oh, yeah, where he did learn about the Titanic from Trailmakers. There is a Titanic that he can go around on, and then if he pushes a button, it explodes and goes into two pieces and then sinks to the bottom of the. So he shows us that often. He's like, watch this. So like, I feel like he's more interested in the physics of like how this could have happened than he is in, like, you know, the tragedy in and of itself, you know? Like, and he's like, watch what happens when I do this. Like, look at this. Look at what happens here. And occasionally he'll even ask us to, does this happen in real life? Because we've tried to teach him the difference between, you know, something we see on TV isn't always true. Sometimes in a movie, especially, it's, you know, it's actors playing a part. And he'll ask, like, can that happen in real life? And a lot of the things he asks can happen in real life. You have to say, no, that doesn't happen in real life. But sometimes you do have to tell him, yes, actually, that can happen in real life. And just being honest with them, you know, it's hard to like be honest with your kids, but because like you want to build that reputation of like, I'm going to tell you like it is, but also there's some things they're not ready for. They're not ready to grapple with yet, nor should they have to, you know? All right, Chopper. Oh, you're so cute. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me, Chopper? You're already adorable. Look at this. He's a tiny little guy, though. He's such a tiny little guy. Oh, he's gonna be an engineer? Maybe. Maybe something like that. He just wants to know how everything works, you know? It's been a month. Oof. You gonna get her Tums for Mother's Day? Oh, yeah, right before Mother's Day? Oof. Well, hopefully it's food poisoning. That sounds like a weird thing to say, but hopefully it's just food poisoning. And she can bounce back quick. Ghost, I really hope you tell your wife that I hope she has food poisoning. Just kidding. Boop. Wait, he has his hot dogs out just like that? His hot dog? Yeah, there's his hot dogs right there. They're black hot dogs. They're just a cool little detail. I think they're supposed to be wires, but they are the actual hot dog pieces. Any fun plans for the weekend? Mrs. Nutter says she's adopting Chopper. Oh no. I already was gonna make space for him on the shelf later. Ow, ow. She likes Chopper, which is great, because I love that. You have space. I know you do. Well, you think you do. You never know. You never know. I thought I had space too, and look at me now. Hey, look, Ma. I made it. All right, I think those are decent leftover pieces, I think. I don't see any... well, yeah, that's probably fine. Those are 2 different pieces of cheese wedge, so that's good. I might have room to do one more. Or time. Should I open another one? Mrs. Nonder, what do we have planned for this morning? What do I feel like we have something to do today? If I open another bag, I'm gonna want to at least finish the bag before I leave. Otherwise, it's like hard to keep track of like where I am in the process. So ending on a bag is pretty nice. Look at that, his little exhaust port. Oh, sorry, you can't see that. Inappropriate. Thanks for them. For what, Bebo? Bebo should be jealous right now that we're building a different droid than him. I don't think we have plans, question mark? Yeah, okay, so what I was gonna do is take Zeke to the store today to do stuff for Mother's Day, but we did that last night, so yeah. Let's go. I mean, in that case, should have just finished Chopper this morning. I could probably just finish him. I love how you say, I don't think we have plans, question mark? I feel like we do that a lot, don't we? Question mark? Oh, is that because your mom texts with like the text-to-speech thing and sometimes she just says the word question mark and it just says question mark? Mez, hi Mez, thanks for checking in. How are you? I saw something from Bogan earlier that I was about to read and then I lost it. Bogan, what did you say earlier? You said something before we started talking about the Titanic. Oh, you sent me screenshots from the game you're working on. Interesting. Do you want me to look at those on stream or do you want me to look at those later? I don't know what's proprietary secret information and what you want me to share. Otherwise, I'll look at them later. All right, well now it looks like we're working on leg number 2, so that'll be nice to at least be able to like stand him up like this, you know? We don't have to leave him on his side. Oh boy. Well, what about you guys? Does anybody else have any fun plans for the weekend? I am the worst at making plans on the weekend. Just ask my wife. Because all week she'll be like, what are we going to do this weekend? And I'll be like, I don't know. It seems so far away in my mind that I'm like, well, let's do something. And then the weekend will get here and I'll be like, hey, so what are we doing? And it's like, well, it's too late to plan anything now. She must really love me, guys, because she's stuck with me this whole time. It's like she loves me or something. I really do have that habit of like not thinking about out of sight, out of mind. It's probably the ADHD, right? I hear her giggling out there. I don't know if that's about me or not. Leg 2, leg 1, leg... Oh, I see what you did there. I'm looking forward to going to the garden center with Merce's mom after lunch today. That sounds like a fun day. I really need to get my wife a garden. She deserves it. She deserves it. I gotta work. I gotta like go outside, ew, and dig a whole big old hole, you know? Get rid of some dirt. We have like this, we have like this brick, for lack of a better word, riser or something, and it would make a perfect planter. I just have to like dig it out all the soil because I'd want to replace it with good soil. And then like figure out how to keep critters and stuff out of it. I just don't know how to do any of this, you know? So I'll be figuring it out on my own. Well, so technically this would be a raised planter bed, technically, if I can get it cleaned out. I'm hoping to have a no trousers day tomorrow and rest a bunch. That sounds great. I can get on board with that. Yeah, so like the biggest thing is like, how do I keep... Is that 3? That is 3. I swear these instructions look like it's just 2, but it's actually 3. Okay. Yeah, the biggest thing will just be like keeping critters and bugs and stuff out of it, and keeping everything alive. I don't think it's gonna be like a huge investment to start. Speaking of which, I saw a very interesting video the other day about how like some people who like are like off-gridders or like people who are like homesteaders, and this guy was like talking about how this is why the government doesn't want you to have chickens because it makes you dependent on them, and this guy like was commenting on what he was saying, and he started pausing the video and being like, all right, so this lumber that he has here, he didn't make this lumber himself, because it's like obviously, you know, finished 2x4s. So he had to have gotten that from a store. This is what that roughly costs. And then he was like, oh, here's this, you have this chicken coop with solar panel on it. Here's what those solar panels run. And then, and like basically like tallied it up at the end. And he's like, how much money have you really saved by being a homesteader when all you've done is just buy all of this extra stuff? Like, capitalism actually loves you. Like, you're not escaping capitalism by raising some chickens, you know? Like, and his point wasn't that you shouldn't raise chickens. It was just that, like, don't pretend like you're escaping the system when all you do is just, like, buy a whole bunch of really expensive stuff to do your new homesteading hobby, right? This wasn't somebody who was homesteading out of necessity. This was, like, their hobby now, you know? And it was just an interesting way to look at it. So that's why, like, if I do something like the garden, I don't want to, like, you know, we could probably spend a lot of money on it, but I want to do it as, like, cheap as possible while still being able to get something good out of it. We're going to need bugs. I got them. I got bugs. There are liners, but also, do you even know there would, you know what? I don't know that. Octi has a beautiful garden. We need bugs. We have possums in the backyard often. Unfortunately, they're so gross looking. Would possums get into stuff? If you want less skeeters, you need more bugs, birds, and critters. We have a lot of bugs. We're working on the birds. I want chickens too, and mini cows and goats. I know what you mean. She does want a farm. Yeah. But yeah, it's the people who are doing all this extra stuff to like have this as like a hobby and then being like, look at how much we're saving on eggs. And when he totaled it all up, it's like, you are not saving on eggs, even at their most expensive. That's different, mind you, than actually like homesteading to actually be off the grid. Like, that's different. These people are very much on the grid, you know, but then they're playing like they're some kind of all naturalist homesteaders, but they're buying They're just buying a whole bunch of stuff at their local Home Depot, you know, which is what I'd never do. I'd never play at being a homesteader, you know. I mean, I mean it. The non-backyard would actually get pests. If you want less skeeters, you need more bugs, birds, and critters. My mother-in-law releases ladybugs. I love ladybugs. I can buy a box of ladybugs at the garden center. Yo. We should move the bird feeder today. They liked it there last year, but now they don't like it there. Okay, we can move it. What's the weather like today? Maybe that's what we'll do this morning. I'm using my phone every time. I love this camera. This camera quality is so good. I love this. I hate not having access to my phone. I know I've said that before, and I'll say it again. I just need to buy a new phone. Damn grid grifters, the grid grifters. Like, I'm not against people being less dependent on, you know, a system that has failed us time and time again. I totally get the desire to do that, but like, they're very much still dependent on a system that has, you know, so like being all high and mighty about it is not gonna help anybody, you know. Yeah, maybe we'll do some stuff outside today. Currently 65. Okay, then I'll tell you what, I'll try to end as soon as we're done here. And let's go in the backyard, because there's been a couple of things I've wanted to do. Like, I need to trim back some of those bushes. I want to get isolated a bit in privacy, but off the grid seems so hindering. Same. That's exactly how I am. Yeah, like, I'd like the option to do some things if I need to, but like, I want the privacy would be big for me. Little bit of land. Not much. 3 to 4 acres would be plenty. Would probably be more than enough. With some trees around and some nice weather. Ugh. Not 95 degrees in a week. You know. Yeah, we're gonna get up to like 95 here really soon, guys. I'm not looking forward to it. So if it's 65 out right now, we could have a nice little day in the backyard. And then we'll take a look. We'll take a look at the planter. Maybe I'll send some pictures to chat, to Discord, and you all can give us your thoughts. I'm pretty sure I got to dig it out. There's a root system in there from an old tree. And also, like, I wouldn't want to use the soil that's currently there. I mean, I guess maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I could, but I probably want to add some like some good soil to it as well. Get a little fountain bird bath and put it in the shade when it's really hot outside. Imagine the birds. We should. Did we have a bird bath before? It was at our old house. We had a bird bath. Yeah. Zeke wants to grow salsa ingredients. I 100% agree with that, and we should do that. Okay, let's do it. Ashley's like, I just need to like get on stream and convince him of more stuff while he's live. So he doesn't have time to back down from it. It's definitely been something I've been thinking about. I know I've needed to do it, but you know how my brain works. You get it by now. Thanks, chat. No. I've known, we've talked about it before. I've known you wanted something for a long time. It's just me, I keep thinking about the work to get it started, and I'm like, oof. But it would be good for me too, you know? It'd be good for me to be active today. Since this isn't like one of my workout days, I could still move my body. You know? Why do I want to say Bradford pear? We have a Bradford pear in the front of our house. I hate it. It's the most fragile tree. I got to keep it well maintained, which is another thing I need to actually maintain. That's something I keep looking at that I'm like, I need to trim those branches back before they get too big. Chatter here as witnesses, yeah. We need to discover the queso tree. Be good. They're just so brittle. That's my biggest problem, is they're so incredibly brittle. And we've lost several branches to that tree. When we first moved in, it was much bigger. And we had to pay somebody to come and like an arborist to come and like help us trim it back. So I think if I can trim it back myself now that it's a little lower, then we'll be good to go. And then we'll have a whole lot of stuff for a bonfire. We need to have a bonfire. Maybe I'll beat Spooky to it and I'll do my own bonfire stream before he does. I'll take the idea right from underneath them. Excuse me. They do smell weird when they first blossom. They smell weird. And I'll take your word for it that that's what they smell like. You're right, they do. Trust me, I would know. Yes, I saw that guy making ice cream out of the Bradford pear blossoms. Yeah, that's disgusting. That's disgusting. Ugh. What are those plants that are huge? They look like from an alien planet, and they bloom. It smells like corpses. A corpse flower? I haven't heard of that one. That sounds horrible, though. Wait a minute. Ah, I have this. Oh. No, I was right. I was on the wrong step here. Okay. Looks like there's 2 gray ones here. There's one tree by the hospital next town over, and I was like, wait, why does it stink all of a sudden? There's several. University of Minnesota has a corpse flower in one of the gardens that always hype it up when it blooms. And it's like smells gross. People like that. They're like, get hyped, University of Minnesota. It's the corpse flower. Wait, where is it? I have it. Where is it? Ah, shoot. I don't have it. Never mind. I thought I had the air horn on here. I don't. I need to get better at these. Oh, geez. I didn't delete it, Ghost, I swear. It's just sometimes with links, people are able to paste them and sometimes they're not. There you go. Let's see this. Oh, that is bizarre. Is that real? Also, okay, could you send me a picture that's not 2 pixels? I'm kidding. Look at how small this picture was. That is really terrifying, though. And that's the one that smells? I don't like that hole either. Don't put your hand in that. Little girl, do not put your hand in that. Is that real? That almost doesn't look real. It's a blooming corpse flower. Is that real? It's real. I'm looking. There are 5 fingers. I'm just making sure. Is that AI? Well, that is terrifying. If I came across that, like, wandering through the woods, I would. Yeah, low res coming from a designer. That's what I'm saying. I expected more, you know? It's a real photo. That is really terrifying then. If I came across that walking through the woods, I don't know what I'd think. I remember I came across... Here, I'll show you. Hopefully this is what it's called. Let's see. Oh, no. Is that not what it was called? So I came across this thing. Maybe you guys can help me find it then, because now I don't know what it is. Okay, so I came across in our woods back in Missouri. We had woods backed up to our house with a nice creek. Beautiful. Like, when I think of a place I want to live, it's basically my childhood home. And when I think about what they paid for it, I cry. Anyway, because it was very cheap. Not for the time, but for me. Anyway, I came across in the woods this green, looked like a fruit. It was about this big. To be frank with you, Ursa, you'll know what I'm talking about in Coleman. It looked like a Mirroroon fruit from Rebels. It was round like this. It had like spiky things on it. It wasn't like sharp, but they were spiky. I was told it was called a hedgehog apple. I don't see anything that comes up on Google for hedgehog apple. So there must be another name for it. Does anyone know what I'm talking about? It was green, had kind of like spiky things on it. I think that's why they called it hedgehog apple. But I was told that, and now I'm thinking that wasn't true. That's not what it was called. Hedge apple, just a hedge apple. Hedge apple. That's it. That's it right there. Hang on. Open link in new window. Oh, from Martha Stewart. Hold on. Ah, shoot. Did I close it? No, there we go. Open image in new tab. Come on. I'm so good at this, guys. Like, I'm so good at this. This thing. Thank you, Lars. I came across this thing in our woods, and I was genuinely convinced that it was an alien egg. It was an alien egg, and I was the first. I had never seen anything like it, and to be honest with you, I didn't know. I haven't seen anything like it since. Growing up, my cousins convinced me crab apples were edible. They are. I ate a lot of crab apples growing up. I mean, they'll give you a little bit of a tummy ache, but they're technically edible. We had a crabapple tree in our yard too, and I ate those all the time, and got a lot of tummy aches. But they were good. They were nice and sour and tart. You had to like get them right when they were ripe to where they get just a little bit sweet. But if you ate them before that, whew, I can still like taste the sour. Wild Starfire, hello, good morning. Yeah, so I'd never seen anything like it. Didn't say anything about it. I thought, okay, if this is an alien, I knew like somehow it was like some type of like seed. I was convinced of that. And so I was like, okay, if this is like an alien seed, I'm going to plant it. And to this day, as long as they haven't completely torn down the entire woods that I grew up in, I could probably take you to the place where I planted this in the ground. I dug a little hole, I planted it in the ground. I know exactly where it was, as long as it was next to another tree. So like as long as that tree isn't also gone, I still can like visualize exactly where I was when I put it there. That's the only time I remember seeing it though. And I think later on I mentioned, I think maybe somebody else might have found when I mentioned like, oh yeah, I found one of those before. I didn't know what they were. And somebody called them a hedgehog apple, but I'm probably just misremembering. It's probably just hedge apple, but that's it. That's what I found. And I also thought it was alien because look at it. Look at it. Looks like a little green alien brain. You played with crabapple all the time as kids. They're good. I'm in communications now. Enjoy this pixelated image with a watermark. Not my problem anymore. Peace out. There's some John Carpenter creature roaming your forest now since you planted it. That's what I was hoping as a kid. I was like, I'm gonna raise an alien baby. Just like in the movies, you know? It's gonna be so great. All right. Gotta keep going. Gotta keep going. Okay. Whoa, I just threw that away. I'm off. Need to get ready for a busy day. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday to you, Ams. Thanks for being here as always. And have a great Saturday. It looks like we're all going to spend a little bit of time outside today, other than Spooky, who is going to be playing video games all day. Just kidding, man. I'm just kidding. If you didn't hear, Spooky is going to go live a little bit later this morning doing Surgeon Simulator with Koro, where one of them controls... Is it one hand and the other controls the other hand? Give us the pitch. What's the whole pitch? You need to wake Koro up? It's probably about that time, huh? It's getting close. Wake up! There we go. Iron, hi. How are you? Good morning. Good morning. How you doing? Perfect. All right. We're just building a little egg. Temig says hi too. Hi, Temig. I can't wait to see you again. It's gonna be so much fun. Even though I'm not going to Gen Con. We will still have so much fun. It'll still be great. We're good. It's cold and rainy though, so yard work is out even though it is needed. Well, that's a good excuse though, right? There's nothing better than like, I should do yard work today, and then it's like, ooh, it's raining. Ooh. Oh shucks. Aw, rats. Like, oh, rats. And it's like you've already booted up another game. How did this... Wait, I'm so confused. Oh, underneath. Okay, that's how that worked. There we go. So it's Surgeon Simulator. You control one arm. Each finger is tied to a key input, and the position of the arm and rotation of the wrist is via mouse input. So one of us will control the fingers, and the other one will drive the arm. That is going to be a chaotic mess. I can already tell. But I love that. I think that's great. It's a really good idea. It's a really good idea. Some of us just are gifted with the gift of content brain, TM. When is this happening? In about an hour, right? An hour from now? When Cora wakes up. So, you know, who knows? I'm kidding. I don't know Coro's sleep schedule. It is going to be exciting.
Hello there.
Hello there. BSC Chris, thank you for the follow. It's good to see you. Koro is EP like me. I get it. Ashley's a very EP girl sometimes too. She does a lot for me. She gets up early with the boy on Saturdays so that I can continue to do that, and I can continue to do this, and I greatly appreciate that. Thanks for the lurk. Appreciate you. Shooting to start in about an hour, but I have a sweet bamboo in my lap, so I can't wake Cora up. No, that would be horrible. Are you all right, Bogan? What are you... Why are you asking Bogan if he's all right? I think he's okay, I hope. Why did you have to say it like that, Bebo? Are you all right? Number five. Okay. Here we go. Okay, and this goes down here. Oh, friggin' stickers, man. Okay, perfect. Not perfect because it's a sticker, so it never will be perfect, but you know, it says perfect. You know what's even funnier is like if I had a printed piece, right? And that printed piece was like misprinted, and like maybe it was ajar a little bit, it doesn't irritate me nearly as much as when I do it, because at least it's not my fault, you know? Wait, does this one need to, this one also needs to line up. Shoot, hold on. Well, if this needed to line up, I've really messed it up already. Oh no, I did really mess that up. Wait a minute. Why is that so low? How did that happen? Why did you guys let me do that? Ursa, why did you make me do that? I'm just kidding. It's because Ursa gets blamed for everything. She said, hey, we need to teach Bebo more gaslighting. He's doing a good job. He's doing a pretty good job lately. He told Ams to shut up earlier. Just randomly. It's just a hey, Ams, shut up. It's funny. It was pretty great. rude, superfluous, rude, churlish. What is it that guy in that Key and Peele sketch says? Insolent and churlish? Is that doesn't sound right. Something churlish. You know. No way you missed it? Oh, it was so great. Here, I can tell you exactly what he said. I did delete it just because I thought it was more funny to do that. Okay, he just randomly said, okay, Bebo, shut up, AMS, LUL, lol. Yeah. Well, she tells him to shut up at least twice a stream, so turnabout is fair game. I think that's probably how he learned it, you know, like, if I'm being honest, but it was still very funny. All right. I'm just going to finish this bag and then we'll leave the rest for tomorrow. Or tomorrow. For next Saturday. Finish this bag. And I'll probably be finishing this whole leg. I think we'll do this bag will finish the leg. At least from what it looks like so far. Plant more seeds. Bebo, you need to calm down, AMS. Oh no. Oh no. Say that to AMS, Bebo, and let's see what happens. But he's learned it. I know he's learned it now, and next time it pops up, we'll know exactly where it came from. We'll know exactly what happened. Here it is. Beautiful. Oh. He doesn't learn the alternative facts, but he learns how to antagonize AMs. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I've seen one of your alternative history facts pop up, but definitely when somebody just, like, you know, antagonizes AMs, then he's like, oh, that's going in the repository. He learns those quick. Not a single, I've not seen him say anything that's like, oh yeah, that's what one of those things that Ghost had taught him how to, yeah. I haven't seen any. Okay. All right, well, we're coming to that time in the stream where I feel things are winding down. We're all coming to the edge. I hope that you guys have had a good time here this morning. I know I have. This has been a wild morning. 3 raids, new friends, some actually like legitimately decent people who came through, which is really great to see. Yeah, I'm really happy with how today has gone. I'm really kind of happy with how the last few streams have gone, to be honest with you. I was telling that to Spooky the other day that I'm like, I don't know, I feel like I'm kind of hitting a stride. I feel much more comfortable. Last few days streams have been pretty good. Sometimes you have a stream and you're just like, I don't know, I just felt off the whole time. But like Friday's stream was so much fun. So I'm coming off the high of like a really fun Friday stream, and then today, like, this is great. Like, this is awesome. Can we just have this all the time, please? If people ever repeated it in any form, you'd have been tagged in the Discord chat, for real. Yeah. Even if we just suspected, I think that this might be a Ghost alternative fact. It just reminds me of our current administration, who said back in was that 2017 where one of his advisors or one of his spokeswomen said you know, they gave us some facts, and the president gave some alternative facts, and that's where like that whole alternative facts thing came from. Remember that? That was their invention. Ooh, speaking of alternative facts, I'm not gonna spoil anything, but you gotta Ursa, you gotta get caught up on Andor, because there's some lines in there that go so hard and are so relevant to like today. It's so good. It's so good. Well, I think I'm missing a piece here. It's supposed to be this darker piece, and all I'm seeing are the lighter ones. There's a light gray. There's a light gray. That one's a light gray. Where's the dark gray ones? That one's light gray. I might have accidentally used a dark gray somewhere where it should have been a light gray, which would be unfortunate. In fact, I think it's this, is it not? Hold on. Yeah, I think that's supposed to be light gray. It is. That's where we did it. Well, that's easy enough to fix. Look at that. Come here. Come here, you. Come on, just get off. The one piece that I want to come off is the only one that is like not coming off. All right. Tales was so funny. Tales of the Jedi, I don't think that was intended to be a comedy. Remember when the Constitution was a thing? I do remember that. It didn't seem too long ago, but apparently it is. I had that the wrong way. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, things are getting a little wild, aren't they, guys? How's MRSA? And when is that New Jersey Comic-Con? Slide into his DMs. Yeah, I should DM MRSA more. Don't say it like that. See, that's what Bebo's gonna learn. That's the thing he's going to repeat. Oh, he's gonna say, remember when we had a constitution and I docked into his DMs? That's what he's gonna say. We're gonna be like, what? What? I'm sorry? He only learns from me, apparently. I think it's just because out of the odds are, you're here a lot, you know? So I think the odds are is he's gonna learn from you, he's gonna learn from Ams, he's gonna learn from Lars. Like, you're our mainstays, you know? Okay. You're one of the real ones, you know? Ah, okay, good. That is correct. Ah, come on. Get on there. There you go. Come on, get all the way in there. There you go. There you go. Mm-hmm. He's like a Mad Libs. Yeah. Hey, Am's phrase should... I'm assuming you mean your Ursa? I'm assuming you mean Ursa? Ursa phrase? I think that was a typo, right? Wow, great English Ghost. We don't need a Coleman moment. Oh gosh, Coleman's was bad. Holy cow. Okay. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Doing that 2 times. I'll need that sword for a minute. Hey, whenever you're ready to be a mod, I'm ready to give it to you. You can have it. Oh, I missed a whole step here, gang. I missed a whole step. Let's see. I mean, you can like have the sword and you don't have to feel like you have to like, you know, do a whole lot of work. You know? We get pretty lucky, I think. The only time we get any kind of like weirdness is when we enter into like just chatting, you know? Just chatting or Fortnite, you know? So when I become a Fortnite battle royale streamer. I'm gonna need some extra reinforcements, you know. Great. I want the glory without the work. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I try to keep it pretty loose with the mods. It's like, obviously, like, you know, the reason we picked the mods that we did is because it was people who are here a lot. Because that's kind of what you need you need, like, the biggest thing you need from a mod is for them to be there, you know? And so you pick people who, well, you also need people who can, you know, can also help you moderate, but you know what I mean. Like, that's the first thing you look at. So, like, that's half the battle, you know? You're already winning, you know? Knowing is half the battle, they say. Fortnite streaming somehow invites random racism. Isn't that odd? Isn't that odd? It also happens to be one of the most popular games for children, so isn't that great? Aren't we? I can't. Surely there's gonna be no bad consequences from that, right? There's surely not gonna be any repercussions to allowing our kids to be involved in a rampant community like that, you know? Everything will be fine. That's what we thought about Gen Z, and it turns out that wasn't true, so, you know. I don't want to hear another, you millennials are cringe. It's like, okay, well, you voted for Donald Trump, so, you know, who's the real cringe master? The generalized Gen Z. Gen Z turned pretty hard for Trump. At least not hard enough in the other direction, you know? One way or the other. So I just don't want to hear it, you know? I don't want to hear any of these Zoomers. I stood up for the Zoomers. I liked the Zoomers a lot. I thought that they were going to be the change that we needed to see in the world. And then they're like, haha, lol, nope. Cool. Cool, man. Hashtag not all Zoomers. I get it, but... not at all. We won't ever see a GoFundMe reach $1 million for someone yelling a slur at a child. What happened? A GoFundMe went to $1 million? Shiloh Hendricks. Why does this sound familiar? A white woman hurled the N-word at a oh, I do know this. I saw her doing an interview. She hurls N-word at a child and Trump fans blame the woke right? What? See, this is what I mean by being too terminally online, I think. Whereas, like, yes, like, this is bad. But, like, wait, there's a woke right? And wouldn't you know it, they say wokeness is to blame. They even coined a name for Hendricks and her donor's style of racism, the woke right. To many of those I call the MAGA centrists, ostensibly non-conservatives who blame the left for making them either Trump supporters or very Trump sympathetic, unabashed right-wing racism is a terrible but entirely new phenomenon. Is it? So she said this, she's getting, you know, quote unquote canceled for it, and then she just made $1 million. Because she fears for her family's safety? Basically, the left cried wolf, and now the wolf is here on your phone, calling a little boy in Minnesota the N-word on camera. And there's a new identity politics obsessed far right waiting in the rings to reward her for it. Oh, okay, so it's like the woke thing was getting me. Yeah, that's wild that happened in Minnesota. That's so weird. Wait, what? I'm on MSNBC. Okay, I was like, what website am I on? Because they're using some weird... This is so weird. I know you're not seeing the... Rewriting history, dividing people by their identity groups, and pushing conspiracy theories. I can think of a few people that fit that bill that can't be dismissed as internet trolls. This is such a terminally online... Like, I don't think anybody who reads this, what did we call them? We didn't call them normies. what do we call them? Offliners. I do really like that better than normies. I don't even know what this, I'm just kind of skimming it, so I'd have to read this actual article. I don't know what point they're trying to make. Never Trumper ex-Republicans and ex-Libertarians loudly warn of the rising influence and genuine threat posed by what they call the... Okay, so they're calling it the woke right. They don't really mean it's woke. It's like the opposite of woke, right? Okay, so never Trumper ex-Republicans and ex-Libertarians. I can empathize with ex-Libertarians for sure. Okay, I'll come back to that maybe. I don't... But either way, so yeah, there is no cancel culture. I've long stood by this. Do people get held accountable for what they say? They do, and they should. But, you know, you can easily turn that into... we see far too many people who get quote-unquote canceled who turn that into a career and make millions of dollars. So I don't feel bad for them. I fried my burger, was raw, in the general sentiment on Timmy's coffee. Lunch, I make him appear in future stuff though. Okay. Half of that was Lars with the burger, I think, and then the general sentiment on Timmy's coffee has got to be Coleman or one of our Canadian friends. Been lurking while, aka sleeping, i.e. sleeping. Kel, we are building Chopper. The Chopper Lego set. This is what it'll look like when it's done. I don't think we'll finish it today. I'm going to finish this leg and then I'm going to call it quits. Let's see. That was a very word salad. This is one of those instances where I think that I got to figure out a way in the Python script to limit how many characters he can respond. And there's got to be a way to do it. Where does this go? Hold on, this is not making any sense. What is this piece? Okay, like this. Where does this go? Huh? I'm kind of concerned about... Oh, okay. It goes off like that. Okay, I gotcha. Jeez. Or increase it? No, I definitely don't want to increase it. Holy cow. Holy cow. Kelt, how you doing? Welcome back to the land of the awake. Land of the woke. Get it? Anyway. Guys, I had such great conversations with the true Kelt at the first year LootsCon. And he and I had a lot in common too. And I liked that a lot. Boop. All right. TC True Kelp. TC in the house. All right, I think this is gonna finish. Uh-oh. Ruh-roh. I have a 3. There's supposed to be a 4. Wait, maybe there's supposed to be 4? Did I ever really truly see if I was supposed to put one of these on both sides? Yes. Yes, there is supposed to be one on both sides. So that means there is a 4-piece somewhere. I wonder if it's this. Yep, it is. A 4-piece chicky nuggy. There we go. That is supposed to be that, and then we're supposed to cap it off with this. There we go. And now this piece can go in here. A little bit different than the other side, but that's fine. Chopper's kind of, he's kind of cobbled together a little bit. He's been pieced together over the years. He's an old droid. I'm very tired. Up at 3 to drop partner at airport, then up again to try to get 18-year-old up for his drive to work. Oh, man. Godspeed. Okay, and this goes up inside this little one right here. Oh, look at that. How cool. How cool. I love that little touch. Okay, there we go. He's got his other leg. Oh, geez. Why does that one keep falling off? Weird. And there is his little body. All we got left is the head. We'll finish that next week, I guess. Next week. Should actually end up being kind of a short stream then, because finish that pretty quick. A lot of these look... Man, there's a lot of extra pieces in this one. These two here, I'm kind of... Yeah, hold on. Let's see. Yeah. Wait a minute. Yep, there's definitely something missed here. These are supposed to go here. Yep. I just have a feeling. I have a feeling on certain pieces now that I'm like, that just shouldn't be an extra piece. Look around a little bit more. Let's see, what other ones... Technically, I would suspect these two cheese wedges here, but those might have been from two separate bags, which would make sense. Giving you extra whips in case you break some is pretty common. Extra little studs is pretty common as well. Extra pins. These are just a lot of... This one here feels like it could be extra, because it probably was this piece right here, so just in case you lost it. But it's still, this one gives me a little bit of pause, because I feel like... But again, it could have been from another bag. All right. Okay, well, I think we're good. Well, there he is. He's a tiny little guy, isn't he? I think they probably could have made him a little bit bigger. He's not as tall as R2, so I guess... That's true, but I still kind of felt like maybe he'd be just a little bit bigger. We'll have to see them both side by side to really give a good, a good comparison. In the back here, there's a little button that will wiggle his little head around. It's going to be so great. It's going to be so cute. Okay, well, I have one more sticker left on this, unfortunately, which means I got to keep it around. I put the sticker inside the book like this. You guys help me remember that next time? Oh, look at that. Ams, wait, oh, you're hugging me? You're telling Ams that you're hugging me? Okay. Are you telling Ams to hug me? What are you trying to say? Keep your powers to yourself. I'm very tired. Up at 3 to drop. Oh, sorry, I read that, Kelt. I thought that was Lars for a second. I was like, wait, I saw the green. I don't know what you're trying to say there, Bebo, but don't tell people what to do. It's wrong. Oh, thank you. Thank you, True Celt. I'll take a hug. I'll take a hug from True Celt. All right. Well, that's it. We did it. 2 bags left. I can probably stretch that into another stream. Maybe. Which will be nice. But I'm really looking forward to finding a little place on this. He's so tiny. Look at him. He's just a little guy. Like, literally a little guy. I know we throw that around a lot because it's fun to say. But he is just a tiny little guy. Hold on. Maybe I'm seeing something. Let me see the other side of this. Yeah, looks like we just keep it open. Okay. I was seeing something that maybe might have been another piece, but it is adorable. He is simultaneously the most adorable droid, but also the most, dare I say, psychotic, genocidal a little bit, murderous even. Yeah. Have a great day, Ghost. I hope you have a wonderful Saturday. Well, I was gonna try to get you over to Spooky Deer before you started. Well, let's see what's going on. What I will do, excuse me. What I'm gonna do is I'll send you over to Lars for right now, but guys, please remember that you should go you should go and support Spooky Deer's stream as well if you got time today, because I think that's going to be great fun. You got about 30 minutes, Spooky, to get everything up and running. Can you do it? Can you do it? Man, my hair is wild. I need a haircut. I need a haircut. I need it bad. It's going everywhere. It's just... I'm about to just chop it all off. Should I just bite the bullet and just get rid of it all? But good luck, Spooky. I'll try to check in when I can. I hope you guys go for a decent amount of time because I'd love to see it. Yeah. Let's see. Let's raid. Let's keep the train going. We've had such a good morning this morning. I'd hate to just drop you guys off into the void waiting for it, but I should probably get going. Holy cow. Yeah, I've been sitting for a long time. I feel the need to get up off my butt, off my rear end. Raid, we chopped into Chopper. Does that make us war criminals? Nostra's incoming. Ask Spooky. See if he's the war crime specialist. Although after editing this video, I think I'm gonna know way more about Call of Duty 2 than I ever thought I would. Cause man, is it chunky. And I played that game back in the day, but I don't remember half of the stuff that happened. I'm like, this is actually like a really good game. Like this, I kind of want to play this game. But now I feel like I have played the game. You know? You know? All right. Well, that's going to do it. Hope you all have a wonderful day. Thank you for being here, Ursa. Appreciate you. There's True Kelt's check-in just now. Just saw. Thank you, True Kelt. Good to see you. All right. Take care of yourselves. We'll see you Monday morning. Same time, same place, same non. Bye.